Alrighty, are we live? Are we live? That's a good question. Hey, I think we're live. We going? We going? Let's see. It's loaded. Okay. There's a pretty solid chance that I am live. Talking about Pokemon Sleep for the, fifth or sixth time, I believe. I don't know how many live streams I've done. How many live streams have I done? I don't know. But it's a pretty solid. I see you. I see you, Shigex Love. We're collecting the Pokemon. Cresselia coming through with another proc for the main skill. Hey there, Melissa. Hey there, Azor. What's up? What's up? Glad to see you all in chat. Good to have people right away. What's up, y'all? Hey there, Ivan Brown. Good to see you, man. Always glad to have another creator in chat. I loved the short you made about Darkrai today. That was funny. Gave me a little chuckle. The team is... Cresselia has been proccing a lot today, I will say that. Like, my team is actually doing alright for our energy. Like, not great. This is honestly pretty bad for energy. But considering that I'm running a level 4 main skill Cresselia, who's already a weaker healer, and I only have it at level 4 main skill, this is not that bad for energy. Considering the context of what I'm running. Would have been cool. Dragonrai. Hey, oh, hey, my boy. Good to see you in chat. Always good to have more people in chat. We'll start this off by making dinner. It probably won't be a very exciting dinner. It's probably just going to be a random garbage meal. Because I am not doing very well for meals this week. I'm not really trying. We'll make some mild honey curry, I suppose, because we have the honey. We'll use those eggs that Chansey has been giving us. Chansey's honestly pretty insane for the eggs, I've noticed, especially the one that I caught. Eggs and honey. I don't want to try cooking this. I can't imagine what this would taste like. It'd be slightly honey-flavored eggs. Well, I guess that wouldn't be that much different than syrup over the eggs. It wouldn't be a curry, though. It'd be more of a really weird breakfast. It might be okay, but I wouldn't expect it to be good. Snorlax will eat it up, though. He loves that stuff. Alrighty, so, next week, something that I wanted to talk about. I asked you guys earlier what you wanted me to talk about in the stream today, because I haven't really... I usually just kind of wing it with these streams. And this is kind of winging it, not gonna lie. But since I had a little bit more prep time, I kind of asked what you guys might want to be seeing. And one of you guys mentioned a pretty interesting question. It was actually like the first one that mentioned, asking which ones are 16-pip Pokemon to be considering for the new Moon event. Actually suggesting a tier list. Could be an interesting... honestly, it would be an interesting... idea for a full-length video almost, but 16 pip options are obviously so small, so I thought I might just talk about it a little bit here on stream. And what more of a fun way than this was the prep I was doing a little bit beforehand. Just making a quick little tier list, throwing it together. I thought it might be kind of fun to just throw them all in of which ones I think might be decent priorities. Sorry, Ivan Brown, I know that you have an aversion to tier lists because they are flawed, but I think that it's nice to kind of know which ones are decent to look out for, because with the new Moon event coming up, obviously there's an advantage to running or hunting 16-pip Pokemon specifically during the new Moon event, because they're less likely to get all full. So if you get one to spawn, this is like the prime time to catch them. This first one might be kind of difficult to catch 16-pip Pokemon. Great use case for a tier list. Okay, I have the approval by the tier list hater. Okay, 16-pip Pokemon. There's only a few options, and New Moon event is like the best time to hunt them, realistically. And now it might be kind of difficult to do with this New Moon event because it's at the start of a week, so there's gonna be like the lowest likelihood of encountering them rather than if we had a new moon at the end of the week. But for future events, this might be kind of something to consider. So I'm just going to kind of go through and place them. If you guys disagree, feel free to dissent on the list. Dear goodness, I did not put down Murkrow. I knew I was forgetting something. Give me a moment. Let's quickly right this wrong. I will add Murkrow. It's kind of, well, I'll get to that when I get to that. But first, I gotta actually download the image for Murkrow. I knew I was forgetting something when I was listing them. Thank you, Camera Tech. Haunchcrow. Let's grab Murkrow's image here. You get to see some live editing. We'll save this image. Okay. What's interesting is when you download them off of RainOnX, it downloads them as a WebHP file, so then I have to put them into a WebHP to PNG converter. At least I couldn't find a better way to do it, so... Okay. I have the image now. Has there been any data mine on the Murkrow line yet? There's been some information that they found out. Oh, whoops. They figured out some information. We don't really know if it's good yet or not, though. And I'll get to that in a moment here. So there's Murkrow. Booyah, submit. Okay, we've edited it. Oh, wait. He is 198. That's before Heracross. Yes, that's where he'd be. Okay. Order doesn't really matter. So there's been some data mine on Murkrow. We know its list, or we know its, we know its list for the potential ingredients on the skill, and that's about it. Cerebi, Murkrow, Pokemon Sleep. That's what we're looking for. So yeah. If, like, this is pretty much all we know, is that this is what it's shiny, this is what it looks like. It's in the game, kind of. And we know that its skill is Super Luck. This skill. Which, this is the pool of what ingredients it could generate. Soybeans, sausage, mushrooms, or coffee. Or Dream Shards. Obviously, as a more rare spawn. At max level, yes, shiny is very good. Haunchcrow does not ruin it. In fact, the shiny is... I love shiny Haunchcrow. This is the time to look for it. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Michelle Bud. Good to have you in chat. So yeah, this is what it can do. It's kind of interesting. As for if I would prioritize it this first time around, though, I think I would put it... We'll start with that. It's just difficult to say. I'd probably say, honestly... honestly, I'll put it up in A tier. Just because I think it's a decent idea to... It's an event Pokemon. This is the only time its spawns are going to be boosted. Aside from potentially end of year at New Year's. And even at end of year at New Year's, there's going to be so many things boosted that we can't count on it to reliably be hunted at that point. So, if you want Murkrow, right now is the best time to get it. In fact, actually, just because of that, I'm going to put up an S. We don't know if it's actually a good Pokemon or not yet. But there's going to be no better time to hunt it if it is good than now. And it's got potential. I'll say, the ingredients that it can pull from, these are 4 really synergistic ingredients, so I think there's potential with Murkrow. Definitely seems like a more early game focused Pokemon. It could be. Difficulty is, with skills Pokemon, there really is no such thing as early game focused, because they're also late game investments. Because they all take stinking seeds, which early game, your first seeds are probably going to go to either your healer or a charge strength Mon. Because those are by far the 2 best skill specialists to invest in right at the start of the game. Like, there's no questions about that. Healer or charge strength. So, to justify investing in this is pretty difficult for an early game Pokemon. So, I don't know. It's got decent coverage. Like I said, shrooms, soybeans, and coffee, as well as like sausage, have a decent amount of coverage. I think it's nice to supplement, and while also producing some shards. I like Murkrow if it can be decent Dream Shards without giving up a team slot for cooking. Yeah. I'm not going to make any calls yet on whether or not it's good, because we don't know its skill rate, we don't know its frequency. Those two numbers can make a very big difference to its viability. Same with its ingredient rate and its ingredient list. In fact, we actually don't even know if it's a skill specialist yet, to be fair. So, theoretically, it could be a berry specialist, in which case this is all just a unique, fun gimmick. Just something on the side that it can do as well. So we really don't know too much about it, and because of that, it's unknown. But this first New Moon event, it's definitely S tier to hunt, just because it's the only New Moon event where it is boosted. You're never going to have the chance to find a Murkrow quite like now, especially since it's shiny boosted. Shiny boosted right now, so... But also, there's no real reason to go to a specific island to hunt Murkrow, because it's boosted everywhere. In fact, I would actually say, personally, I'm going to intentionally avoid the islands where Murkrow can spawn, just because I want to catch a Murkrow that says it was caught somewhere that it can't spawn later. Like, I have like a collector's thing. I think it's cool to have legacy Pokemon that can only spawn during certain events. I've got an Aaron that's kind of like that was caught at Greengrass. Oh yeah, another berry dark special. Not just another berry dark specialist dark type, but another berry dark type 16 pip specialist. Because we're assuming it's 16 pips. I'd be shocked if it... Actually, that might be... Okay, that information is live now. That was data mined. It is 16 pip, confirmed. Also 13 inventory. We can sometimes base questions off of inventory. 18 inventory. That's not amazing, which would key me in that it's probably not a berry specialist. Probably not. Asterix, probably, because realistically that's like it's an indicator, not a telltale sign. I could actually see it being an ingredients. Oh yeah, 16 pips? Yeah. That was pretty much... It was kind of assumed that it was going to be a 16 pip Pokemon. Just because 16-pip Pokemon in this game are ones that at one point in the Pokemon's lifespan, it was a single-stage Pokemon at one point, and then never had a baby form for it added later. Because technically Sudowoodo could be a 16-pip Pokemon, but it's not. It's like 7-pip. Same with Wobbuffet, because they were single-stage. So, they did that with Murkrow, because Murkrow used to be a single stage, and then they added Honchkrow later. Same thing with Sneasel into Weevil, the Onix to Steelix. That's what defines 16 pips in this game. Oh gosh, Porygon. I don't want to think about that. That would be interesting. That would be very... I hope they don't make Porygon... If they add Porygon, I hope they don't make him 16 pips. That would be terrible. The base stage of a 3-stage evolutionary line being 16 pips, that'd be horrendous. What is its evolution requirement, though, for Porygon 2 into Porygon Z? I don't even know. I guess I could just Google it. But for now, Murkrow's probably the top of the hunts list for this New Moon specifically. In general, though, there's no way of really saying. But also, like I said, it spawns everywhere. So you're not going to be choosing your island based off of Murkrow. Because for this first time, it spawns everywhere. So, I don't know. It's probably S for this one. In the future, we'll have to know more data between now and then. Link cable and dubious disc for Porygon 2 to Porygon Z. Okay, so another item is probably what it would be in this game. That'd be annoying. 16 pips and an item. 2 items if you count link cable as an item, but link cables are basically free in this game. So 2 unique 14... Oh, wait. It's also a unique item for level... Holy crud. Okay. They need to do something different for Porygon if it's ever added to this game. They need to do something and not follow the precedent. Because, dear gosh, that'd be horrendous. They can do the 2 items. Honestly, I'm not that bothered by items. Maybe that's a Premium Pass player perspective sort of thing, because we have more sleep points, but... Honestly, I look at items and I'm like, it's cheaper than a main skill seed. And it gives you a free main skill seed, so I'm not bothered by it. Because it's just like a discounted main skill seed almost. That doesn't take up your 1 per month. So, but yeah, 2 items, 2 linking cables, and a 16 pip theoretically because it was single stage. Yeah, I think given that it's a 3-stage Pokemon, they would just make it 5 pips. That's my hope, at least. Digital Pokemon don't sleep. Well, there are other Pokemon that don't sleep, too. I think, doesn't Delibird have Insomnia as its ability in the base games, I think? What are... I know it's got, like... Yeah, its hidden ability is Insomnia, Hustle, or Vital Spirit, which Vital Spirit prevents sleep as well. So Delibird doesn't sleep. Yeah, it also has... Only a couple Delibirds actually have Hustle and can sleep. Most of them are immune to sleep, so... And Delibird's in this game. That's probably why it's a dozing type instead of a slumbering type. Because it's, it should be slumbering in this game, because it's a flying type. Flying types are typically slumbering. I'm not saying kick it out of the game, Ivan Brown. It's an interesting Pokemon. It's cool. I love him being added. It gives us something to look forward to at Christmas. Him being boosted. But, yeah, he definitely... There's a reason why he's dozing type in this game. Because realistically, if we're saying Pokemon that don't sleep shouldn't be in the game, then, there is a Delibird. Okay. Now at the Murkrow talk, Komala would be amazing in this game. They should add Komala. I think that'd be funny. Or cool. It'd be very cool. What are some other, like, sleeping Pokemon? I know that a lot of people said Musharna from the beginning. And it did get added. And a lot of people also said, kick Golduck out of the game? That would be a rough thing. Actually, Delhi being dozing because of its ability is such a cool tidbit. Yeah, there are a few, like, really cool tidbits. I don't know why the Slowpoke line is snoozing. That's one that's always kind of confused me. Like, Slowpoke... Like, they're water type in this game. They should be slumbering, but they're snoozing for some reason. But, like, they give me the vibes of, like, they'd sleep real deep because they're just like, Slowbro, Slowpoke. They're all slow. Like, I don't know. They give off slumbering vibes to me. Della getting a new skill at Christmas. You heard it here first. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. They need more love for Delibird. But yeah. I'm also going to just do this now. Want Aberline already? I've been brown crying. Are Psychic types snoozing? They are, but they typically don't respect dual typings in this game. So, like, it could be an homage to their Psychic typing, but, like, look at Skeledirge. It's Ghost Fire in the base game, or Fire Ghost. In this game, it's strictly dozing when the whole rest of the line is snoozing like it's as if it's a Fire type. They always go off of the Berry type in this game, unless there's some specific reason that they make it break the trend. Which they did with Delibird because it's got Insomnia and Hustle. Or not Hustle, Vital Spirit. Most likely, that's my assumption. They do it with baby Pokemon, making them all slumbering. I don't know why Slowpoke. What would we get it for Christmas rep this year? Cryogonal, Smoochum Jinx, Stantler, Weirdear. I can see Stantler. I don't know what they would do with it, and I don't know if they would give us Weirdear, because so far they haven't given us any Hisuian bonds. But they could do it. Delia's dozing because they wanted to make it a PITA to catch him. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it depends on who you are, if dozing is bad. Because realistically, like, slumbering, some people might be kind of difficult. Snoozing, I know for me, snoozing's the worst. In fact, here, we can just, if we pull up my phone here. If we look at, like, my sleep trends. Let's see my stats. Natural sleep is over 50% dozing. Let's see, if we look at the past 365 days. How much do I have of the different sleep styles? What do we think it's going to be? I know for a fact it's skewed against snoozing. Oh, wait, I thought it was... Oh, I guess dozing's my lowest. I thought for sure it was skewed against snoozing. I guess I'm wrong. Maybe the previous ones were. Never got dozing. Still haven't invested in a Bulbasaur. Let's see. What about the previous set? Yes, the previous set was skewed against snoozing. I guess lately I've been snoozing a lot more and dozing a lot less. I had no idea this was a feature. It's in here, but it doesn't track this far back if you don't have the premium pass. It only tracks back a certain amount. All the data is still saved, though. You could, if you ever get the premium pass, you can actually see all of it like that. Top 8 Pokemon hunt listed, dozing in its pain. I always feel most rested when I get snoozing, and I've been getting a lot of great sleep lately, unfortunately for my game. I'm hoping you're not at Lapis. We were just talking about this in the Discord earlier today. Lapis snoozing is terrible. Like, the only thing there really is Gardevoir, maybe Cresselia if you get really, really lucky and a legend spawns. Past that, Lapis snoozing is like, here's a couple Persians and Wobbuffets. Like, I feel like it's one of the worst. One of the worst. It's like early game when everybody complained about dozing at top. Oh, top for Paldan Wooper Hunt. Okay. Slumber more often. I'm the same way. I slumber way more often. Speaking of which, I should probably do this. This is my Go++. I'm gonna just start that. Don't write off Muna. I will write off Muna. It's not a very great berry specialist. It's kind of neat that it can collect some decent amount of dream shards as well. But it's like, I don't know. It's not a very great berry specialist. It's got some synergy with Cress, but overall, I think that other berry specialists just do the job better. It's still a berry specialist, though, so if you get one with berry finding out help bonus, it's still going to be very powerful. Because that's what that combo does on a berry specialist, but I'm just not interested. Okay, Onyx pretty good. Oh, Dedenne, if you don't already have a Dedenne, I'm putting that up in S tier. Oh yeah, I forgot Dedenna's snoozing at Lapis. Okay, Dedenne, that is an exception, but it's also a 16-pip Pokemon, which is more difficult to hunt for. Good job on the Crestminster update. Thank you, thank you. I'm excited for the Murkrow one. We'll see how it is. I've already put up the channel in Discord. Theoretically, you guys can send messages in there. It's open. But there's no real point if you don't have Murkrows to submit yet. So good at getting slumbering that I mostly get balanced nowadays. Yeah, that is kind of a trend. And also, I need to put the sleepers to sleep as well. Let's see. Yeah, I get a lot of slumbering sleep, mostly because I put it to sleep before I actually go to sleep, so that just leads to it skewing quite a bit. And I'm expecting that this weekend, because tonight's my last night before heading out for that camping that I was talking about. Last time I was camping, I got a lot more snoozing and dozing, and hardly any slumbering at all. I'm expecting to do the same thing, so I'm going to get some wacky sleep styles coming up here. I'm hoping it skews more towards dozing than towards snoozing, because there's not much at Lapis for me to catch on snoozing. Oh, we know you forgot Dedenne. We watched the video. Yes, today's video, I forgot about Dedenne, and I saw like 2 of them. Healer joined the strike today, sad times. Sorry, Azor, about that. I think my crest took the extra procs, because I've had a great, quote, great healing day. I'm putting that in heavy quotations, because it's still on a level 4 main skill crest. Which means even a great healing day isn't really all that great. But it's greater than I've been having all week. Healer's been striking for 2 days, probably swapping back to my old reliable Wiggly tomorrow. Well, I hope that goes well for you. It's funny because my Wiggly procs more than my Gardevoir, but it's got 1 level weaker main skill, and my Gardevoir is shiny, so I like to use it more. And it's... They technically like have roughly the same energy curves from what I've calced before in Rain on X. Onyx pretty good. It's not amazing, but if you don't have an option, if you don't have a berry finder for top or old gold power plant, then it's a decent hunt. I mean, the easy ones to say is like Comfey, I'd say, is down there. Sableye's down there. Honestly, I'm going to put Heracross down here, too. It's a good Pokemon, But it's not worth the hunt. It's not worth the 16 pips when Vaporeon is almost the same, takes 1 skill seed less, and has a favored berry island right now. It's hard to evaluate Onix in isolation of Steelix. Well, but this is for evaluating should you be hunting it for the new moon event. So, like Onix, it could go 2 ways. Steelix or Onix. And they're both good options. Found the strike the other day and then bailed on y'all. Thank Arceus. Nice one, Ivan Brown. Glad your healer has joined back in on the healing. I also had a couple of days where Sylveon was not performing, had to add Pawmot. I mean, honestly, okay, when I'm having bad healing days, I just let the bad healing be a bad healing day and just tank it, because, okay, don't get me wrong, energy is important, but the most important part about energy is not bottoming out. And even on bad healing days, you're probably not going to be bottoming completely out on energy. Because if you look at the energy curve, it really, like, the productivity doesn't really hurt until you hit, like, absolute 0. Let's get rid of the healing here, so you can actually see this difference. Like, the differences are, like, little chunks between each one. Granted, this is still a significant overall drop in productivity, but even on a bad healing day, you're probably, like, getting a decent amount from all things. And then, when it bottoms out, this is a huge drop-off. That's a 51% productivity drop-off. That's significant. Meanwhile, the difference between 72% and 51%, that's a much, much smaller difference in productivity at each one of these breakpoints. So, as long as you're not bottoming out completely, that's a different story. If you're not running a healer on your sleep team, though, so your healer is probably bottoming out. That makes sense. Only proc twice today, waking up at 5 a.m. until now. Well, okay. Let's look at what a 2-proc energy curve looks like. Okay, a 2-proc energy curve is predicted to bottom out if you sleep for 8.5 hours for about a half hour. So that is a bit rough. You probably want at least 1 more proc. And if you have energy recovery down Pokemon, then that makes things even worse. Like, if it's like this, then that's a bit worse. So you probably want more than 2 procs, but let's see this. Okay, it takes more than 3 procs for an energy recovery down Pokemon, but if you don't have energy recovery down, 3 procs is enough in a day to keep that Pokemon above 0. And as long as it's not hitting 0, you're not dropping off that really, really insane energy drop-off. So, that's like the minimum, realistically. And as long as you're staying above 3 procs, I'd say you're doing alright. Unless you're running a lot of energy recovery down Pokemon, in which case you probably want at least 4. Because then you stay above it, even with energy down. But yeah. 3 procs? Don't get me wrong. This is much worse than this. Like, this is obviously better. But, like, for a bad day to be this isn't really that bad if you think about it. It is currently 11 p.m. I did swap Pawmot in, and my Pawmot proc twice in 3 hours. Yeah. I think it's my Crest. My Crest is stealing everybody else's procs. I think it's procced legitimately. I think it's procced like 8 times today. Actually, there's a real funny thing. I can actually figure out how many times my Crest has procced. Let's see. Because I have energy recovery down Pokemon on my team and normal Pokemon on the team. And because of the level that they're currently at, they gain 1 more energy if they don't have the energy down nature. So I can compare the ones that have the energy down nature to the other ones, and the difference is how many times my energy is procced. So 64% versus... Okay, that's more than I thought it was. Oh, but I might have started at lower energy if yesterday was a bad healing day. So it might not be perfect. If this is perfect, though, then my Crest and Chansey combined have procced 20 times today. If that is true. But there's no way that's the case, because then they'd be topped off for energy for sure. So there's definitely a difference there, and they started at lower energy, because yesterday was a bad healing day. That took me by surprise. Also, cooking... Yeah, cooking could make a difference as well, if there's different breakpoints. But yeah, even if it's a 7 energy heal, because this is what I'm working with right now, is 7 energy heals. If they procced 20 times today, they'd still be topped off. So yeah, they definitely did not proc 20 times. That's just a funny quirk thing. Okay, finally putting the sleepers to sleep. I'm not casting this one, but they're going to bed. Okay. Actually, wait, give me a moment. I'm going to be plugging that phone in. I got another cable back here. Okay. Just making sure that the sleepers don't die on me. That shiny Sudowoodo's got to get his rest. Yeah, cooking energy. Yeah. So, if we want to get back to the journalist a little bit, kind of in and out of getting distracted. Yeah, I think these guys, definitely not worth it. Heracross is a good Pokemon, but it's just so much easier to catch Vaporeon. It's one of the easiest Pokemon to catch in the game. And it gets 1 extra free skill level that the slight benefit by having a Heracross over a Vaporeon is just not worth it. So, do not hunt Heracross, please. Mimikyu is interesting, but it's not really amazing. It's a weird spot in the meta, in my opinion. It's like trying to be a generalist and trying to be a berry specialist at the same time. So, like, it can kind of do some things. I'm going to give it, like, a solid B, because it's a hard Pokemon to use, I'd say. And it takes both skills and levels to get up there, and it's hard to level up being a 16-pip Pokemon. So, it's kind of like an alright investment. Mimikyu, yeah, B. I agree with that. Because it's interesting. Absol, like, it's decent for Cacao, and the other Cacao options do kind of suck. Like, ABB Blastoise is still an ABB option, and they don't suck, realistically, comparatively to everything else. It's just that none of the Cacao options in the meta, none of the Cacao options can really meet the meta call reliably unless they have amazing stats. It's going to be really difficult to do that with an Absol, given that it's 16 pips. It's going to be much easier to do that with a Squirtle, or a Paldean Wooper. So, I'm going to give it a C. Yeah, begrudging C. It's a good Pokemon, but once again, when there are other options, even when we have these boosted events, I think I wouldn't give it higher than a B or a C. Just because it's so difficult. Okay, Mimikyu Stonks will raise when we get a Dragon Poison Island. I'm not sure Mimikyu would get better with a Dragon Poison Island because it's a Ghost type. So I wouldn't put it. I don't think that would make a difference really. Mimikyu and Berry fighting against Oh, that would make sense. Mimikyu and Berry fighting against Dragonite or Altaria. Start the Poison Dragon Swamp. Yeah, and Poison's also a very strong berry too. Just don't pair it with Butterfree. That would be the opposite end. Question. After you put your device to sleep, if you open your game again, are the actions you do still captured? So, it detects the movement. I think it allows you to, like, do things with it. In my experience, you can tap it and it still tracks the sleep. It doesn't cancel the previous sleep. But it does need to get that first, like, 15 minutes being set down and not moving to trigger the initial start of the sleep. Even if you don't fake your sleep like I do recommend that even players that are trying to play legit, at least let their like Go++ or whatever sit for 15 minutes on the nightstand before they move it to their bed, or their phone on the nightstand for 15 minutes before moving it to bed, because sometimes you can move a lot when you're falling asleep and it won't start tracking that sleep for a while. You never know when it's going to actually start. And even you might actually be sleeping and it just won't be tracking because it's like, oh, you haven't been completely stationary for 15 minutes yet. So, your Absol's an S. I mean, you got lucky with that. As for if it's worth not to hunt or not is a different question. Wouldn't judge 16 pip Ingredimons purely based on its alternatives. I also look at what it would open up if I would catch a good one, like no split invest on Blastoise, going mixed with Wooper. I mean, that's an option as well. That does make things great. Or, like, that does give more options if you catch a good one. But the real question is, are the extra options worth the extra cost? Because, like, the candies, yeah. And then you're also considering you have to invest a 16 pip option, which you're going to have way less candies for. So, like, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's easier to split invest Blastoise than it is to invest a Blastoise and an Absol. You'll invest the Blastoise faster, don't get me wrong. But the Absol, by the time that it comes online, I wouldn't be surprised if you would have been better off investing 2 Blastoise. Just because Absol candy's so rare. I can still collect berries and stuff. Oh, so once your phone's asleep, if you're not using a Go++, you cannot collect berries after sleeping. If you use a Go++, you can keep collecting berries after putting it to sleep. However, it counts it off of whatever time. I think it uses this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for your data the next morning when you review it, it uses it based off of the sleep, the score when you went to sleep. It might use it when synced up, though. I'm not so sure about that. I've never actually paid attention. Your drowsy bouts are based on when you started the session. But yeah, okay. Ivan Brown confirmed for me in the chat that I was right there. If I don't let my Go++ sit for an extended period, sometimes I don't slumber at all, and I've had the entire sessions not get recorded. Yeah, let it sit there for like 15 minutes, no matter what. If you're using a phone, you can't do... You can't... that's true. Yeah, Absol candies are rough. They are very rough. What's up, research family? Yo, Ryan, good to have you in chat. Yeah, Heracross. I'm gonna put Absol in solidly C. It's an alright Pokemon, but probably not worth anything. Not worth to hunt. Even given the context of 16-pip Pokemon being easier here. His live stream about Pokemon's... Wow, Ian Zook, thanks for putting my name in chat 3 times, talking about Pokemon Sleep 3 times. It is a very famous channel, I'm sure. My measly 829 subscribers, I think is what I saw last time I checked it. Guess it depends on where you're in the game. I can get my Absol to 60 by the end of year, but generally I agree 16-pip Mons are harder to raise. Absol candy is harder to come by nowadays. Yeah, and nobody really sends it. Nobody really sends Absol candy because it is such a... It's the same thing as what I talked about. If you watched my candy sending etiquette video, I talked about how I had an experience with my Dugtrio. That poor Dugtrio is still not a very high level, and I don't even have the candies to get it there. As one of the first 100 subs, 800 plus is very nice to see. It is like 6 months. I agree. Ian Zook, thank you all for the subscriptions. It's been great. This would require seeing an Absol. That's also a thing. People need to actually see Absol to send the Absol candies. And even when they do see it, they don't always send them. Sitting on 1.5 thousand Wooper candies, because I haven't found a viable one of either form yet. Might just start hunting Absol and Snowdrop for Cacao while Sneasel hunting. Not the worst idea for the event. Your Dugtrio's level 53. Well, consider yourself lucky. My Dugtrio is not. My Dugtrio's level 37. I do have 300 candies for him. I got a break. They got a skill trigger S, skill trigger M, main skill nature to Dedenne. That is awesome. Skipped ahead of the main skill seeds reserved and like Cresselia's fuming. Oh man, that's a nice catch for a Dedenne. Okay, I can only get it to level 46, and that's if I had the dream shards, which I don't. Is the Raptor in Velociraptor 22 referring to an F-22 Raptor jet? Interestingly, no. It sounds like it, and I didn't realize until way later that it links up to F-22 Raptor. The story behind my gamer tag is honestly really stupid. None of you would ever be able to expect it. So when I was younger, I thought that... I genuinely thought that Velociraptor meant Velocity Raptor. And I one day... And I continued believing this. Like, no one ever corrected me because no one ever mentioned it. It wasn't something that ever came up. One day way later, when I was like 15 maybe, I still had this thought in my head. And I said something about a Velocity Raptor in a conversation with my siblings. And they just laughed at me because they're like, that's so stupid, you thought it meant that for that many years? What's wrong? And they laughed at me and thought that was funny. And then they said, but, you know, that sounds like something that'd be a really cool gamer tag. And I agreed. And then it just became my gamer tag. The 22 comes from my birthday because I was born on the 22nd of the month that I was born in. So, that's where that comes from. It's interesting that it lines up with F22 Raptor. Completely unintentional. Okay, just got Leek Dug Trio to 60. Big climb for an okay mount. Well, it's there now, though. You have your Leek Farmer. You don't have to worry about hunting that Quaquaval unless you want the soybeans. Enough Wooper candies to take one above level 50. That's actually the main reason I'm hunting a Cacao one for the Insta Chocolate. That's a good reason to hunt a Cacao... a Cacao Paldean Wooper. Yeah, that's what it is. Best, most sentimental ones always are. So, is the Darkrai spawn going to depend on Drowsy Power? I don't know. We don't know too much about Darkrai's spawn, other than it's a special spawn. Which takes... We don't know what it looks like for its spawning. It's just got a different requirement. That's all we know. Well, I guess it has been data mined. I could check if they have any info in here. Because they did. There are now 2- and 3-star styles. That's another interesting thing that changed. I mean, the Velo and Velociraptor means swift, so you aren't actually that far off with velocity. Be nice to Yogi. Okay, well, that's good to hear. That is good to hear. That would make sense. I mean, swift. Yeah. Okay. It's got 2- and 3-star styles. We can't see them yet, but they've been data mined that they exist. There's no DPR information, so I'm guessing we don't know. It also, they show badge information. Has the badge information changed in the game? I wonder. This is bringing me down a rabbit hole. We've gotten distracted, but that always happens. What class are you playing in the D&D session that got canceled? So what is PS? Oh, that's Pokemon Sleep. Funnily enough. What class are you playing in the D&D session that got canceled? So what's funny is the one that got canceled, I actually have 2 that I go back and forth between, that run in different systems. I thought it was D&D that got canceled tonight, but it wasn't. It was a different tabletop RPG that got canceled. So D&D classes wouldn't really work for it. It's more of a Warhammer RPG. So there aren't really D&D classes in that. Okay. The badge is still the same information, in case anyone else was wondering. But in the one that goes back and forth with it, I play a 3-way multi-class between Warlock, Paladin, Cleric. Anyway, Velociraptor, you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, I've been Brown. I had my Quagsire at 60 when P-Wooper came out. Had enough to level up to 40. Just never found an AAA one and tried hard. I got my Absol now. I was too hasty trying to be witty with Sage Ben Brown. Okay. Alrighty. Kangaskhan. I think there's some things going for Kangaskhan, because it can alleviate Tyranitar a little bit from Ginger if you catch a good Ginger one, and then Tyranitar can do more flexible things. It can potentially be soybeans as well. But realistically, it's like... And what's its B ingredient? Potatoes, I think? I think it's potatoes. Right? I don't even know much about Kangaskhan in this game. The triple class caster. Yeah, it is a... Yeah. It plays mostly like a paladin, I'll be honest. It's 3 levels of Warlock. It's Ginger Potato. Okay, yeah. And then soybeans is the C ingredient, that's right. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna put it into D tier. I mean, it's not like it's the best at anything. Like, Absol at least is the best at Cacao. Kangaskhan just kind of exists as a side grade option if you happen to catch a good one. Which if you do, go for it. Because, once again, it's that concept of use what you have, but I wouldn't suggest hunting it in any circumstance. Because Tyranitar is just that much better for Ginger, and there are so many options for potatoes as I continue to learn every single day when I catch more good potato Pokemon. Potatoes Con helped me get my M20 at Snowdrop. Good for you, Ivan Brown. Actually, I wonder, I bet you Kangaskhan is probably like the one potato farmer that I don't have a good one of yet, if I had to guess. I've been blessed with all the potato farmers for some reason. Let's see. Oh, I guess I don't have a Cramorant with potatoes yet either. Clodsire has potatoes? That must be the C ingredient. Because it's... Yeah, because the B ingredient's coffee. I've got a good one of those. Okay, I don't have a Victory Bell either. Although I slightly overslept for work today. Life is going good. That's good to hear, Aliabs. JK, I wouldn't say... I would also say don't hunt it. Even the man who's invested in Kangaskhan says don't hunt it. Cramorants! I go back and forth on Cramorant because he sucks for ingredients. Like, he's honestly one of the worst ingredient Pokemon in the game. But he's got very interesting synergy being an ingredient specialist with Tasty Chance, and Tasty Chance is just such a powerful main skill that he's honestly got some things going for him. But if you're hunting him for Tasty Chance, just hunt a Dedenne. Because Dedenne is obviously better for that purpose. What did you wake up to? We're ranking the 16-pip Pokemon for should you or should you not try to hunt them during the New Moon event. The first New Moon event. Candies are a big problem for me. Yeah, that makes sense as well. 16 pips makes it difficult to hunt them. The Kanga, that is, and Delibird. Yeah, which honestly, okay. I'm going to rip the bandage off. Delibird, if this were 3 months ago, I would honestly put it in A. But now, Happiny being better, and being a 5-pip option, and it being a Snowdrop basically exclusive, and it having boosted spawn rates during the holiday event, targeting, I think, Delibird, is probably a really bad idea right now. So I'm going to rip the bandage off and just say, at this point, D tier for hunts. Yeah, no reason to hunt it anymore. Don't try to hunt it. If this were just 3 months ago, it'd be A tier, solidly. I wouldn't quite put it in S, but nowadays, it goes down in D. What are your opinions on islands after the next one? There's moderate consensus the next island will be the last. No, I don't think it's the last. There's so much exponential growth in this game. I am convinced that as time goes on, it's going to get easier and easier to reach the max. Like, I can already max OGPP with the right events. It's going to only get easier as time goes on and levels get higher. If they continue the curve for strength the way that it has been going, the next time is probably like maxable at with level 75 Pokemon, if I had to guess. What is there beyond level 75? Well, eventually level 100. They're going to need more islands to account for that difference in strength. So, there's definitely going to be more, but we don't know what those next ones are going to look like. I'm hoping for at least 6 more islands after that use different islands. I know some people are talking about like a green grass plus way later. I've heard some theories of maybe for a final island, way last one option, as being a place where you get to set the berries so that you get to choose the best team, but have really high strength requirements. I think that'd be really cool and interesting. But that'd have to be way down the road for whatever their actual last island is, as a final challenge where you get to choose. It's flying type Snowdrop spawn, yeah. Happiny is better. Well, Happiny isn't. Chansey and Blissey are. No, I put Heracross in D. Yeah, I only put Heracross down in D just because Vaporeon is it's not a better option. Heracross is technically better, but it's just a cheaper option that gets a free extra skill level and is exponentially easier to hunt. We're not even talking about same level. If you happen to get one of those ingredient mons, great, but don't go out of your way to hunt them. Yeah, that's what I think as well. Looking at those ingredient mons for their mixed list, the list may look differently depending on if you need specific list. Since everybody is still on the AH. Yeah, I mean, okay, even if we address mixed lists, there's really nothing for Ginger Potato. Delibird's got a little bit with Egg Apple, but I really want to... Because, there's this. But this is a better... The mixed list concept is honestly... You can't cover tomatoes and milk in one Pokemon. So it's not like you can make a power pair. Cramorant's the only one that really has something else going for it, really, with the Aggron combo. But that's... Once again, it's a 16-pip hunt. I wouldn't hunt it for a mixed list. It's difficult to justify. Honestly, I'm much more open to mixed lists than most players into this game. Most people that talk about this game. But for 16 pips in specific, I wouldn't suggest hunting for a specific mixed list. Yes, this is not a tier list about if they are good or not, but purely if it was worth the hunt during New Moon Day. Yes, that is what I'm doing. Wonder how the curve works out, what levels we will catch for stage 1, 2, and 3 when everyone's research rank 100. Yeah, because which Pokemon are good obviously very much so depends upon what level is the current cap for your account. Very early game, charge strength Pokemon are like the best, hands down. That is my experience with the sleepers and Pseudo-Wudo. Very late game, though, I think easily Pokemon like Mimikyu become the better generalists than them because they scale on berry strength and skill level. So, I don't know. And we'll have to see if we get more skill levels for things like Berry Burst. Because if we do, then they get double scaling, which is insane to think about. Absol, Cacao, Apple, Cramorant, Oil, Eggs. Yeah, not just for synergy. Yeah, there aren't too many synergistic options. I guess Absol does have Cacao Apple, which Cacao Apple has this meal and this meal. Those are all like mid-tier meals. I wouldn't be looking at that. Egg Cacao. Yeah, there's not too many synergies with these ones. There's some with Kangaskhan with AAC, but Tyranitar has that exact same synergy with AAB. So that's another situation. Sneasel, I think, is another very justifiable A. I'll put it solidly in A. Just because it's not like meta-defining, but it's a very good berry specialist. But also a very difficult hunt being a berry specialist. You want to get to friendship level 10. But this can start getting some of that badge worked on. So, Pinsir, I mean, Apple Honey is interesting. Honeys, but I think it runs into the same problem that all these ones do. Murkrow best ingredient 16 Pipmon confirmed. I mean, we don't know. I only put it up in S because for this New Moon Day event, it's the only time that is going to be boosted and be like the only boosted spawn. So if you want a good Murkrow, then now's the time to catch it. That's the reason why it's up in S tier. Not because it's good. We don't know if it's good or not. As far as power goes, it could be literally anywhere because we don't know its stats yet. But to hunt it, if you're going to hunt it, now's the time to hunt it. Ditto's interesting because it has tails and a neat skill, which means it has something going for it. I still don't think it's a great mon, though, so I'm going to put it in C tier. I think that's the most comfortable C tier I can give it. And Cramorant's probably the hardest one to rate. I'm going to put it also in C just because, once again, it's interesting with the main skill that it has. It's not because it's good. It's, like I said, one of the worst ingredient specialists in the game for ingredients, but it's got a really cool skill. Its skill is funny and Ditto is everywhere. Yeah, that's also a thing. Ditto's everywhere, so if you see it, maybe throw some biscuits at it. But I think that this is a decent list for what's worth the hunt during it. As for how I would actually... Cramorant B. Oh, wow. Ivan Brown's giving a little bit more than what I'm giving it. Mimikyu C. I think Mimikyu's got a lot of really late game potential. I'm going to leave Mimikyu in B. Then again... And, like, the 5-pip alternative to Mimikyu is Braviary. But realistically, like, Braviary's got a weaker berry. It doesn't have the crit chance, which is kind of cool. More fun ways to play around that. So, Braviary and Mimikyu are a decent comparison, but also Braviary's not a very easy thing to come by either. And it's more of an early game, like, the Flying Berry is more useful at early game. So, Pinsir carries me early game. It still does. AB gives me a decent amount of apples. Late game, 2028. Well, late game, I think if you can get a Mimikyu to level 65, it's very potent. In fact, I wonder... If we look at just max skill levels, I'm wondering where it would rank if we give, like, preferred split by specialty, the preferred skills. Let's get rid of that. Final evolution, all Pokemon. Let's just give them their preferred skills. Obviously, this isn't going to be great for ingredient specialists, but we'll give them this sort of thing. How do they all rank by total strength, then? I'm just interested to see. I like running these random calculations. If Dedenne is S tier, Cram is at least B. Maybe for strength, but the thing is I'm not evaluating for strength. I'm evaluating based off of should you be hunting them. And if you're hunting Cram for Tasty Chance, you shouldn't be hunting it for Tasty Chance. You should be hunting Dedenne instead. That's my reasoning for putting it in C. If it was based off of strength, I'd probably put it a little bit higher because its skill is shockingly good. But should you be hunting it, I'm leaving it down in C, because it's interesting, but realistically, if you want the skill, hunt Dedenne instead. Oh, whoops. I forgot I still had that tab open. Okay, yeah, let's see. It's funny, because if you do this sort of thing, I really don't like how Rain on X handles Cresselia in these things. Like, I like it because it makes me feel like I'm justified in my Cresselia investment decision, but I hate it at the same time because I know it's overvaluing its main skill here. What's the number of procs per day you'd feel comfortable investing in a Dedenne for free-to-play? This is a list for New Moon. Hey, we'll finally caught one of the streams. Hey, Soul Dude. Glad to have you here. Number of procs per day I'd feel comfortable investing in a Dedenne. I mean, there's other factors to consider. Realistically, Dedenne doesn't need that many procs. And honestly, I'd probably invest in less for free-to-play than I would for premium, just because you're catching... you're going to have the opportunity to catch less, because you don't have as big of access to Great Biscuits. So, I would actually probably have a lower threshold to invest for free-to-play than I would for a premium player. I'd probably just look for Skill Trigger M, maybe something to boost speed as well, but if you just get Skill Trigger M alone, that's probably enough that I'd call it quits on the Dedenne for a free-to-play player. But I'd wait to invest skill seeds until you are making those huge meals, because Dedenne doesn't get its strength until you are making the really big and powerful meals. Oh, finally, for a YouTuber, I'm surprised you only have 6 tabs open. I've had more in the past, ranking based on what to prioritize hunting. Yes, that is exactly what it is. New Moon event feels like another non-event event to me. Sorry, I'm a hater. I mean, it really is kind of a... It's like Good Sleep Day. And it's not... I don't think it's supposed to feel like an event, really. This first one feels more like an event than other ones because it's brand new. And there is a boosted spawn in Murkrow, which I am very excited to catch one that is going to have Legacy. That's going to be a Legacy Murkrow. I may get the befriending bundle just to guarantee it. We'll see. I'm considering it, but it's a monthly thing, so they couldn't make it like a real event. I mean, it's got shiny boosted odds. But yeah, if we sort by all this at level 65, I mean, if we're just looking at general strength, then Mimikyu comes in, I mean, decently high up here. I guess it is below other charge strength Pokemon. Even if we just compare it to other skills specialists, I guess, it is a little bit lower than other Pokemon. But, I mean, it's performing alright. And it has the unique ability to have, like, the other berries. But it does need to be level 65. That's always the problem with it. Oh, whoops. I wish they gave us more sleep points during the new moon, but doesn't seem like it. Yeah, they're definitely not doing that. New moon event before the shop resets. Yes. Is Murkrow that high just because it's new? Its skill seems kind of mid. Well, they don't have the calculation for Murkrow yet. Oh, no, for why I put it this high. I put it this high because... I'll probably have to explain this a lot during the stream. I put it this high just because this is the only new moon event where it is boosted. So if you want a good Murkrow, if you want a Murkrow, now is the best time to hunt it. Because it's never going to be boosted like this ever again. So it's just an exclusivity thing. If we're talking future new moon events, I don't know where to rank it because we don't know how good it is yet without its stats. That's the only reason why I put it that high. Today I'm going to watch something in the theater. That means I'm gonna have to ruin my weekly sleep thing. Oof. I want to be able to buy sub-skill seeds on free-to-play. I agree. They should make sub-skill seeds accessible to free-to-play players. They're a big part of the... Does RNX account for crit? Oh, does... It does, but it's not... I don't know how their handling of the crit chances, but I know it does account for it. It doesn't account for the possibility that you could let it crit and then take it off the team until you refresh it. Because I know that's a way that some players like to run Mimikyu, because it's kind of interesting that way and technically then has more strength. So that is something to consider. But let's see, if we just raise the skill floor by 5, at what skill level does Mimikyu without the rest of the team beat out the other charge strength guys? It beats out Sudowoodo at level 75. Because theoretically, if you keep pumping this up, then it's eventually going to be... Okay, so level 73 is the tipping point for Mimikyu to beat out Sudowoodo. Where does it beat out Drifblim? Level 76? Level 77, it beats out Espeon. And then level 79, it beats out Golduck and Ampharos. So, like, whenever we get level 80... Let's see. Level 80, we're currently level 65. That's 25 levels away, right? No, that's 15 levels away. So I'd expect in a year and a half, then... Because it's roughly 6 months for every 5 levels. Year and a half, that'd be 2027, not 2028. Okay, using a Mimikyu for a crit only to swap it out sounds cruel. There are some people that do it, though. And it is technically a more optimal way to use it if you don't have anything... Because you can put something else in place of it afterwards. 20k shards is kind of insane, though. But at that point, just find a good Gulpin for consistency. Yeah, until we know this crit rate, 20k, I mean, that's awesome. If this happens on average once per day, if let's say assume that we get on average 6 procs per day. Now this is just random assumptions. If we assume that the average Honchkrow can get 6 procs per day, which would be a pretty high estimate for its rate, and that each one of these procs on average once. Now, obviously that's probably not the way it's going to work, especially since we have confirmation that these are rare results. Then realistically, like, even just 1 proc per day, that is pretty insane. But that's still not even coming close to competing with what a Gulpin can output. Because where is Gulpin? Give me a moment. I always forget. Charge strength. Or Dream Shard Magnet. Can proc. Okay, I guess 4,600. That's like... I guess that would make the Gulpin have to proc... like, roughly... 20k divided by roughly like 3,000 or 4,000, like 5 times. Like 5 to 6 times in a day. That's about the same. If that's the way it works, which I can almost guarantee that's not the way it's going to work. 25 new moon days from Mimikyu S tier. That's assuming you can level a Mimikyu to level 80. That's another thing. Mimikyu takes way too much effort at this point. Ours candies are more common. Or Cram's candies are more common. Cramorant's more common candies? I mean, what's their DPR? I don't know. I don't know what their DPR rates are. And also, where do they spawn? Because Mimikyu spawns at Old Gold and Greengrass. Cram's 85.61 mil. Okay, I guess it does have lower DPR. Compared to Mimikyu, who's 155 mil for 4-star. The 3-star Mimikyu is higher than the 4-star Cram. I suppose. And then they're also at... I don't even know. What are all the islands Cram can spawn at? I know it's at Cyan and Snowdrop. Okay, Cyan, Snowdrop, and Greengrass. Honestly, I go to Old Gold Power Plant more often than I go to Snowdrop and Cyan. So, I think I go to Old Gold Power Plant more often than I go to the other two combined. What are the chances in the next 5 years you think you switch to aiming for mono ingredient? I mean, I'm not against mono in a sense that I recognize that it's powerful. I'm against the idea that so many players push it as the only way to play, because I think that mixed lists also can be viable. And if you look at my account, honestly, as much as I talk about mixed lists being viable, a lot of my Pokemon actually fit the mono meta pretty well, because it's honestly been a lot of the Pokemon that I've caught. The only real exceptions to that are my Dragonite and my Tyranitar. My Dragonite's ABA and my Tyranitar is ABC, which is probably the biggest middle finger Pokemon that I have for the mono meta right now, is my ABC Tyranitar. So, realistically, like, I am kind of keeping an eye out for mono ingredient mons, because even though I think that mixed lists can be viable and can be very powerful, I also respect and understand the strength in a mono list, and still am like passively trying to catch those mono options. I personally am aiming for a crazy mono ingredient Pokemon for every type, even if it takes like 10 plus years. Yeah, like, it's not a bad idea to have them, especially because even if you don't use them throughout the course of the week, they're still incredibly good for stockpiling those ingredients in preparation weeks for the event weeks. So, like, even a mono, like, even if you're following the mixed, even if you're using more mixed lists, mono ingredient Pokemon still have their place. ABC Tar, but I respect it. Lol. Yeah, okay, I will say, my ABC T-Tar investment, I still think it was the right decision, given the context of what my ABC T-Tar is. But it definitely is the case of, I saw what I had, but it's a very powerful T-Tar. Very good T-Tar, sub-skill-wise, and if it wasn't that I had the sub-skills that I had, I would not have invested it, because it's not a very optimal list. And I will say that. It's not a great list. Mono just makes it easier for me. Put it in to get what you need and get it out for a Berrymon. Yeah, Cope. No, it's not Cope. I still need to get to level 60, actually, and I do intend to actually take this thing to level 60. But no, it's mostly because these sub-skills... If it wasn't for the Berry Finding S at level 10, I probably wouldn't have invested it, because even with this much ingredient finding, it's not that great, but the decreased opportunity cost by running Berry Finding S on it makes it actually, I think, worthwhile the invest. So it's a very interesting case that I wouldn't recommend ABC T-Tar to anybody. It's not a very great list. I'll be honest about that. But I found ways to use it. It carried me to M20 on Snowdrop for my Snowdrop run. Well, did it? Yeah, it did. Because that was with the salad week. And I made Ninja Salad all week. Which I was able to do with the soybeans here. I have an AAB Skeledirge that has insane stats, just imperfect lists. So yeah, you can definitely make some non-monos work. I mean, AAB still kind of functions like a mono option. Because realistically, when you're looking at AAB, especially Skeledirge, Skeledirge is one that I would say do not invest if it's not a mono list right now. If you have but if it's an AAX list, then that's a temporary mono option. That you can invest to level 30, maybe level 50 if it's got a good sub-skill there, but probably not any past that. But as of right now, if you catch a really good mixed list Fuecoco, do exactly what I did with my mixed list Fuecoco. And that is, don't invest, but don't get rid of it either, because if they ever release a list for it, that is good. You're going to be kicking yourself for getting rid of that thing. And that's kind of my thought with it. Where is he? Good old Remember Me. Named after the song. Named after the fact that I want to remember that he exists. If there is, and I will never forget this guy, because I have just been so gosh darn impressed. So gosh darn impressed with the sub-skills in nature, because it's just glorious. In fact, if we just screenshotted this and sent it out, people would be like, what? That is amazing. But, like, ABC Fuecoco really has nothing going for it. It is just... We were talking the other day about, like, synergistic lists, which ones are synergistic, which ones aren't. ABC Fuecoco's got to be one of the worst ABC lists as of right now. Like, one of the worst, if not the absolute worst. Your Pokemon review about my Kangaskhan advice saved me from investing to do an ABC one. ABC Tyranitar or Fuecoco? I don't remember every single video that I made for them. So I had to go full mono strat after I caught a crazy mono Dratini and was like, let me do this for all types. Help bonus, inventory up L, inventory, ingredient finding M, ingredient finding S, ingredient up, XP down. Oof. Honestly, I'm not bothered by XP gains, natures up or down. I don't like to see it up. I'm alright with it being, like, that way, but, okay. To me, it was about an opportunity cost. If I keep hunting Fuecocos, I would have had to put some off some other things. Yeah, you know, Skeleturge is so good that if it's got decent stats, like an AAX option can work, and just try your best not to level it to level 60. Take it off the team every now and then. It's a very, very powerful Pokemon. Like, see, if we just make it level 30 and give it just ingredient finding M alone, how many apples does it make? I'm gonna guess it's a lot. 89? That's a lot. That's really a lot, and that's with just ingredient finding M alone. If you're able to add help speed onto that, if the mana has like this, boom, 102. The meta call right now is 105, and this is with a very mid healer option. Granted, Skeleturge has a self-healing skill, so that doesn't matter that much. But one Pokemon with help bonus on the... Oh, wait, I guess I had two on the team. I didn't realize that I had this configured this way. So that's with two help bonus Pokemon on the team. Still, though, 102, like, with two help bonus Pokemon, just decent stats, level 30. Yeah, Skeleturge can handle being AAX just fine. XP down is overrated. Time is an unlimited resource in this game in a way. Yes. Oh, overhated. Yeah, people that really hate on XP gains down nature, I don't understand why. Because it's like, the point of the game is that it's a slow grind. You don't need that Pokemon immediately, and if you do really want it immediately, there are ways to invest things further. And once you get it there, it's a great Pokemon. Like, and it's a pure upsides and no downsides. And with how slow it is between them adding new level caps, XP gains down Pokemon can get there just fine. Case in point, I invested... Where is it? I invested this Gengar a while back. It's level 42, and it's got an XP gains down nature. Way later, after I got this guy to level 42, I caught this Ghastly. It was a Ghastly. And now, it's got an XP gains down nature. It's level 61. I have a level 42 and a level 61 XP gains down Gengar. Of each. Evolved both from Ghastly. Leveled them both up with my Ghastly candies. And they're doing fine. I still have 308 Ghastly candies left over that I could pump into this guy to get it to like level 63 if I wanted. XP gains down isn't as big of a hindrance as a lot of people say it is. I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my childish fears. Okay, wait. ABC Kangaskhan, that's right. Yeah, quite tough to use effectively, that's true. Only if you're immortal. Yeah, but like, the game's only been out for like a couple years, or like almost 2 years now. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary in a couple months here. And like, we're already seeing people with level 60 Pokemon. Granted, the XP curve is theoretically exponential. But once again, they're releasing us 5 levels every 6 months, is the current rate. If you pick your investments wisely, an XP gains down isn't going to be really that bad. And it's only... what, 18%, I think? I guess I don't actually know the difference. I don't have that number memorized. I don't know everything, people. And realistically, okay, let's just see, what's the difference? If it's level 1, and we're trying to level it to level 65. Or let's just pretend we have... Okay, it takes 2,655 candies to get there. If we take that same Pokemon, give it XP down, it gets to level 61. That's 4 levels less from level 61 to level 65. Granted, each level is quite a bit of a difference. That's about the difference about... I want to say that's like the difference of like a help speed M if I'm remembering my level calculations from way back. Wait, let's look at this. What's up? Got distracted gaming, almost missed the stream. Yo, Medici, glad to have you here. Eureka Seed is at 5,000 hour ribbons. Ooh. What? Okay. Since the 2 Halloween events were released, I am kind of indifferent when friends share a Ghastly image. I don't need the candy as much. Yeah, that's pretty true. Okay. So let's pretend that we're looking at Raichu, just because it's my default go-to for berry specialists. With Berry Finding S, and let's give this one Help Speed down as well. We won't mess with his main skill level. With the XP gains down nature, it's level 61. Without it, it's level 65. What's the real difference in strength here? About 6k? 74k versus 68k? No, I don't want calculator.net. I just want the Google calculator. Okay. Let's see this here. We're looking at 68541 divided by 74796. Okay, so the second the XP gains down Raichu at that point is 8.4% weaker compared to, I guess the speed of help down is 7.5% slower. So like, I guess that's comparable, but there's room for improvement here. You can put more candies into it, even if you just bump it up one more level. And that's also comparing from level 1 to level 65. If we compare from level, like, 12, which is more realistic for what you catch at, then realistically that difference becomes... Okay, so it takes... How much candy? Let's see. 2564. Will it be the same difference? I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. If I put that in here, it takes it to... Okay, still level 61. Okay, so I guess this is like the comparison. This is what you're looking at with XP gains down versus XP gains neutral. Let's pretend that you haven't... Let's pretend it's speed of help up, because you got that benefit. Then it's actually stronger, despite being a lower level. So, I guess this is where I'm like, I'm not bothered by XP gains down nature, because in the end, the difference between the levels that you would have had, if it's a good nature, it counteracts the effects, and it still has room for improvement. Okay. If you need the Eureka Seed to fix it, I don't think you'd sleep with it for 5,000 hours. I mean, depends on what it is. Like, because realistically, okay. If you're sleeping with something for 5,000 hours, it means it's probably something good. But, like, case in point, if I have my Pokemon that's like, okay, where is it? Gigachu. I sleep with this thing all the time. It's at 2,500 hours. Okay, 2,400 hours right now. Level 75, it gets Research XP bonus. If I don't care about that, and I want to try and roll for Help Speed S, if I could suddenly start using Eureka Seeds on this guy, then I would, at level 75, because you choose, it's the Research XP bonus. Grant, I could get Ingredient Finding, which some people don't like on Berry Specialists. I could get Inventory, which is also kind of useless. Research XP's bonus is kind of useful, but it would only make my... It would be a rich get richer situation. It wouldn't be the bad Pokemon get good. It'd be rich get richer. That deserves a gold ribbon. Have you not seen this one, Onizus? This guy just wanted a reason to flex his Raichu. I mean, this thing carried me to Master 20 Old Gold Power Plant. I will be honest, I don't think I could have done it without this Raichu. So, it's on my team like all the time, almost, other than when I'm in off weeks. Anytime I'm looking for strength, this thing's on the team, even if it doesn't have Favored Berry. I wonder, I'm not going to do this, but I'm wondering, it could... We're almost to the point that I could make it my first level 65... If I ran it tonight, I bet I could tomorrow morning. Actually, I definitely could. There's no doubt about that. That's the kind of Raichu that I randomly open up my box just to admire. Yeah, it's my highest RP Pokemon in my entire box. And for good reason. If we get Eureka Seeds for other Mons, I'd be using it on ABAs I have for AAA. Yeah, Raichu's insane low. I recently hit Master 20 OGPP as well. Hit a record 8.5 million Snorlax strength. That is insane. That is significantly more than what I got when I did it. Granted, I also did it back during the Valentine's Day event in February. So it's been a couple months since I did it, like 3 months. You can say it, that Raichu's your baby. Yeah, the 2 Raichus, honestly. I've got the 2 Raichu squad, Gigachu and Zumachu. They're sisters. They're both very great. This one's definitely better than the other one. Because this is one that I think is my favorite in a sense that it is a very off-meta Raichu, but is still very, very potent. And the proof of concept that helping bonus with a lot of speed can outweigh Berry Finding S. Because it doesn't have Berry Finding S. But I still invested it, still use it all the time. It's got enough levels at this point that I'm not going to reinvest realistically unless they added a Lolachu. And I do have other really good Pichus that I could be investing, but there's no real point. What's your biggest investment regret, if you have any? I've talked about this before. It's definitely my Butterfree. Just because I used a seed on it, that was stupid. But realistically, like, level invest, like, that's the easy answer, is my Butterfree. That was a... I'll just show it, and then that's the rest of the discussion. I used a seed on this. I caught it as a Metapod. Very early game. Definitely my biggest investment regret. As for other Pokemon... Huh... I really don't know. Because all of them made sense in the time. Like, I don't think any of them were bad investments. It was more than... Yeah, I did it during the salad event. Oh, yeah. Sacrifice hunting Chansey to make... I was more than okay with it. Because yeah, that's alright. If you already got a good Mono Delibird, then you don't necessarily need Chansey unless you want Potato Egg Synergy. Okay, I think my actually biggest regret of an investment is probably this Blastoise. But the thing is, okay, yes, no, it's definitely this Blastoise. Because I caught this guy rather early on when I was overvaluing Berry Finding S. And it's got Berry Finding S, but it doesn't really have much, or anything for that matter, for ingredients. And I saw it had the ABB list, which I wanted Cacao. And it was like, well, I ran some calculations and was like, you know, it should be okay for Cacao. And it also has Berry Finding S. And, like, if I can make it that it is okay for Cacao and it has Berry Finding S, then you know what? It's worth the investment because it negates that opportunity cost. But it really should have had something else for ingredient finding than just Berry Finding S going for it. I also used a seed on a Butterfree in one month in. Yes, that's... Oh, don't remind me of the Butterfree. Where would you take out main seeds to give them to another Pokemon? For me, it's Ampharos. Even though he is not bad, I would like to invest in my Golduck instead. If I could take main seeds out that I've already invested and reinvest them into different Pokemon, I definitely would take them out of probably this Ampharos, the level 31 here, because the level 25 one is better. I put one main seed into this. This is probably another mini regret, because, like, this is a very good Ampharos, don't get me wrong. But not too much after I caught this guy, I caught this guy, who's just better. Granted, he's not better till, like, way later. Well, I'd say level 50 is when he gets to actually be better with helping bonus in there. But I don't ever intend to actually use this guy anymore. I caught it as a Flaffy, I believe. Well, did I? Maybe I didn't put any seeds into this guy. Am I messing with myself right now? I need to see this now, because it's got a level 3 main skill, but I swore I put a seed into him. Let's see. It's got 20 inventory right now, so this is correct. Okay, yes, it was caught as a Flaffy. I did put a main skill seed into it. So I'd probably pull one out from there. I definitely would pull from out of that Butterfree. There's no doubt about that. And then, I guess probably my Golduck. Because, like, I just never use this guy anymore. I've got better options now. I do think that investing in him was the right decision. Because when I was using him, it definitely was worthwhile for the context at the time. He was one of my strongest options. Yes, it took seeds, which are more of a permanent option, but I think that the strength and value that I got out of him while I was able to use him was worthwhile. And also it wasn't that many main skill seeds because it had skill level up M. If it didn't have skill level up M, this would have been terrible. But having that just made it that I only needed 3 seeds, which, granted, 3 seeds is a lot given the context of where I'm sitting now, but I'd pull those 3 seeds out and reinvest them for sure. Alrighty, this week I'm at the Tundra and have not seen a single Happiny, but I have seen like 3 Delibirds. So you've probably gotten a lot of dozing sleep if I had to guess, Soul Dude. Because Happiny is slumbering, Chansey is snoozing. Can't wait for Dragonite and Altaria. Reckon the next island. It's going to be insane. It should be Dragon Poison Bug. I agree it should be Dragon Poison Bug. Altaria, if you have a good Altaria, it can do well with it. It's going to be difficult, though, because a lot of people are probably going to run their Altaria. They're probably going to run their Butterfree. They're probably going to run their Arbok. But I doubt their Arbok, Altaria, or their Arbok will be high enough level to actually meet the strength requirements of that last island. Or, not last. The next island. I need to get that out of my vocabulary. I keep calling it the last island for some reason. It's just in my head that way, even though I know it's probably not the last. Anyway, I doubt that many people are going to have them leveled. And honestly, levels make the biggest difference. Which is why I've been dedicating time to level my Arbok, because I am ready. I want to be ready when that next island comes out. And if it doesn't come out as a poison island, then I'll be a little bit upset, I guess. But I still think this is a reasonable investment with this Arbok, because it's another one where it's like, its stats are so good that it's like, I don't really care. It's probably one of my 4 Blastoise for me as well. Ooh, 4 Blastoise? That's a bit much. Kind of crazy how much using one measly main skill seed can have such a big impact. It's more just the fact that I know that I got like 0 impact out of that main skill seed. If you had a Typhlosion with Berry Finding S and nothing else, or a Ninetales with Helping Bonus and Help Speed M, and Help Speed Up Nature, which would you prefer? Probably the Ninetales, honestly. It's a weaker Pokemon, but like, the Helping Bonus is just so good, and also Help Speed M and Help Speed Up Nature are good additions as well. I'd probably prefer the Ninetales because I value Help Bonus support a lot. And a lot of Slumbering. Got those in for like 2 sessions and had 3 delis. Oh, wow, crazy. Arbok is so cool. He gets a pass regardless. I agree. Arbok is... I love his design. He's my snake boy. Well, actually, wait. Is this one a he? I don't know. I'm gonna take the time to check. Okay, no, she's my snake girl. Am I running a team of all female? I am running a team of all female Pokemon right now. How interesting. Wait a minute. My Espeon's female. Aren't Evolutions much higher male rate? Am I saying that right? Eevee gender ratio? I recently found out from one of these live streams that the gender ratios actually were brought over. Okay, yeah, I just googled it. Eevee gender ratio is 87.5 male. So, my Espeon is extraordinarily rare. Not only being very good, but also being female. Interesting to know. Yes, Eevee's more male. 7-1, apparently, is what Google told me. Finals ended, I've got 9 snoozing in a row. Snoozing, yep. This is the girl team. Wait, the Meganium's female as well? It is? Okay. Because also starters have a higher male ratio, too. I know that one for sure. Because that one's got lore reasons. I'm sure that Eevee probably has lore reasons as well. But I know that, like, it's like the professor only gives... I heard somewhere that it was like the professor only gives out to children the ones that are males because they need the females for breeding. So, oh gosh, referring to it as a harem. Okay. That's an interesting way of putting it, John Butler. I seem to have a lot of my best Pokemon are female for some reason. Or, like, in the past I've run a lot of, like, all-female teams, it seems like. It's the entire reason why my Walreign's named Icy Hot, because it's like... Okay, that's genderless. I guess my Gengar's male, but female, female. My Quacklevolt's male. Female, male. Okay, my Vikavolt's also male. Teen Girl Squad, let's nickname them now. Well, wait, are any of them nicknamed? I actually don't know. Not a single one is nicknamed. Oh, no, the Cresselia is nicknamed. I have one nicknamed one. If you guys want to give nickname suggestions, I am open to taking suggestions on stream. I'm not very great about nicknaming my Pokemon because I'm not the most creative person. I'm much more mathematical and logic-brained. Like, my brain is way more logic-focused, as you probably gathered by watching the channel. So, I'm not the biggest with nicknames. I have a couple now and then, but... Sailor Moon character name for Espeon? I mean, I've never watched Sailor Moon, so I'd personally feel a little weird having a reference to it, unless it just felt like it really fit. But if something did really fit and you suggested it, even if it is from Sailor Moon, I still will accept it. I just wouldn't know the reference necessarily. But yeah, if you want to name them, give suggestions, I guess. I'm open to taking them. Maybe I'll... Arbok is one of my favorite Pokemon, so if anyone names this gal, it'll have to be a pretty good name that'll live up to the state of it being one of my favorite Pokemon. Farika. I do actually kind of like that. I'll keep that in mind. Celine? Is that... Wait, is Celine from... Is that from Sailor Moon? Is that the... Is that, I'm... Celine for the Espeon. Okay. That could work. I do like that. I just looked it up to see if there was a character named Celine from Sailor Moon. Now there's a jet. And the only thing that came up was the character Queen Serenity. I could name it Celine. Alright, I got a shiny snake this morning and it might even be good. As for names, What about Cobra? Jeremy JJ, why thank you. Hey, Cobra's just Arbok backwards. What made you think of that one? Could you imagine if I named one of these other guys like their name backwards? Like if I made Chansey be Yes Knock Eggman for Chansey? But it's a gal. If that even fits. My shiny Arbok is called Shelby. I think I like... Okay, Shelbert is like the perfect name for a Togepi. Or... Okay, Cleopatra for Arbok. Ooh. I do like... Okay, I actually really like that. That one's really sticking, John. You know what? I'll go with that. I'll dedicate that one. Congrats. You've named my Arbok. Hey there, Odomai. Nice to see you. Shelby Cobra. Wait, there's somebody named Shelby Cobra? I do not get too many references, apparently. Oh, wait, no, it's a car. Okay. Might steal Cleopatra for my shiny Giga Arbok, too. Yeah, that's a pretty good nickname for an Arbok. For a female Arbok, specifically. For Vasuki Indicus. What is that? Oh, a big snake. Really big snake. That's a mountain in the background. That's huge. Crazy. I like that name idea as well, but I think I like Cleopatra. I'm sticking with that. No female berry Pokemon? What? See, interesting, like, things that we notice. If you start looking at them, probably one of the largest snakes ever. That thing would be terrifying if you think about it. Could you imagine just seeing, like... I'm glad that this thing is extinct. Meganium. Espeon. Okay. Okay, the Espeon recommendations that I saw earlier were Jessie, Celine. I don't know if either of those are really sticking to me. I don't know, I guess I'm also a little picky with my names as well. Animals were bigger when there was more carbon in the air. I thought it was oxygen, not carbon. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've heard that before. Maybe it was the bugs were bigger. Oh, wait, no, I don't know. What about Clark? It's a female? I mean, I guess Clark. I don't know. Sakura. What, is that a reference to something? Oh, it's also a snake. More snake. More plants because carbon. Oxygen for animals. Yes. Okay. Got it. I mean, Sailor Moon references are always great. My female evolutions are always named after Sailor Scouts. So my Flareon's Mars. Wisteria. That seemed... I like that. That's a plant, too. Yeah, I've heard of Wisteria. This is Wisteria, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not so sure. But, you know what? I like that. That feels right. Thank you, Gale Force. You've named my SP... Name it Ampharos. That would be funny. But I like Wisteria. I've been convinced. Ampharos? Oh, but that's great too, because it's like an Ampharos but pink. Oh man, wait, I might have to change it. I'm sorry. Wisteria was good, but that... Mawboy, that is too perfect. I'm sorry, I have to change it. It was named that for a brief moment. Ampharos... Is there... Rose? Wait, but Ampharos is spelled with an A. I think. Okay. Susu, because that's milk in your native language. That's really interesting. Rest in peace, Wisteria. Yeah, no, it didn't happen. Well, it's always been this, but I like that. That's way too perfect. That's a phenomenal pun. I love puns. And that's like got layers. That's got so many layers. Meganium. This one's got a flower around the neck. I don't know. Chansey also needs naming. It was beautiful while it lasted. Yes, it was. Chansey. Eggmon. Like, we got the egg. What are good egg puns? With female names. There's so many egg puns out there. Like, something with hard-boiled. Just name Meganium. Meganium. Hey, Meganium's getting a Mega, most likely, or almost guaranteed at this point. If there's ever another shiny Espeon in your box, you gotta name it Wisteria in remembrance. Will do if I ever get another Espeon for some reason. Crest is named after my shiny. That is very true, Ivan Brown. Meg. Oh, just you. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Idea. Nope, not that. That's not what I wanted to do. Wait. It's Meg. And then, wait a minute. I actually have two other Meganiums. Because, okay, one of my favorite pairings is I have Bonnie and Clyde. Like, this is one of my most creative, like, Typhlosion names. Meg is the female one. Do I have a male Meganium? I'm sure I do, because they're most likely to be male. Yes, this one's male. That's the better one, I think. I'm probably not gonna... Yeah. I'm probably not gonna be leveling up my second Meganium at all, but... Meg. And then, I don't know why, but Neum feels like... that feels like a male name to me. It isn't really a name, but... So, we have Meg and Neum for... That's so stupid. But I like it, okay? No, Meg is like... It's like the female name, like, short for Megan, you know? Yeah. Yoke Londa. Okay, I do like that egg punch. Shelly, that's also pretty accidentally sends to Professor. Hey, got on the board. Yeah. Okay, I named a Pokemon that I was never intending to really use ever again. Benedict for Chansey. Benedict feels more like a male name, though, and I have a female Chansey. So far, I'm leaning most towards Yoklanda, unless someone can come up with a better egg pun. I do think egg pun is the way to go, though. Shelly. Egg Elizabeth. Ooh, wait. Eggberta. Holland Daisy. Ooh. I think I like Holland Daisy the most out of these ones. Yoko Ono. Noblesse. You know, I think I'm gonna go with Holland Daisy. Sunny Side Up Scramblette. Is that like supposed to be like Bernadette? Yoko Ono is... Wait, okay, wait. What's Yoko Ono a reference to? I feel like there's a reference here that I'm missing. Oh, there's a Japanese multimedia artist, singer, songwriter that I did not know. Incubator on Letta. What is Yoko Ono made? Jackie Chansey would be... Okay, that's also pretty good. Once again, that would have to be a male Chansey, though. What songs has Yoko Ono made? I don't know. Oh, John Lennon's spouse. Okay. Okay, that is pretty smart. Not gonna lie, that's pretty awesome. McMuffin. I like that. I don't know why, but I do like that. That's not even an egg pun. That's just McMuffin. For your own good, don't look up her music. Okay, I won't. I won't. I'll stop my research there. You know, just because I don't know Yoko Ono very much, but I'll do it because that is a pretty good pun. I'll do it. It works. Eguafina. I am liking all these suggestions, but that'll be what it's set to for now. That's all of them named then. We've named the gal squad. Call her McGriddle. She was married to a Beatle. Yeah, John Lennon. I did a little Googling there. Yoklanda was robbed. I was leaning towards it for a while. She just screams? Oh gosh. Now I'm imagining a Chansey just screaming. Robbed. Poached. Oh. Oh, I'm late. I mean, I do have more Pokemon you guys can name. I don't have just those ones. Here, I've got a Gengar. It's the Berry Finder Gengar. If you guys want to name this guy, he's creepy. Wait. He? Yes, he. I think Gengar is one of the creepiest Pokemon. But, oh well. I mean, it is intentionally creepy, I guess. It is the original Ghost. The original Ghost Pokemon. Well, I guess Ghastly is the original Ghost Pokemon because none of them were... You need to have a Ghastly to get a Gengar, but... Mayonnaise? I feel like if I was going to name this Gengar Mayonnaise, it'd have to have oil in the C slot. If they... Genghis Khan. Oh, gosh. That's a pretty good one. No, I feel like... Okay, if they were ever... Okay, I don't think they're ever going to make another meal type. Because, realistically, that would... Adding another meal type would actually devalue easy travel tickets. And I think they sell a decent amount of easy travel tickets. But then again, it would devalue them, but it would make them you'd have to buy more. So maybe they would want to add another meal type, because then you'd have 4 different options of a meal type you could roll instead of just 3. So you'd be able to less reliably count on a meal more. Like, you wouldn't be able to count on ingredient tickets getting you the meal you want as much. So if they ever were to add another meal type, but if they were to add another meal type, aside from that, I feel like it'd be sandwiches. Sandwiches feel like they make the most sense with them being so prominent in Scarlet and Violet. If that's the case, then maybe another ingredient would be mayonnaise. But I don't see it happening. Just funny to think about. Okay, a new meal would nerf everyone. Yes, that's why I don't think it would add. I don't think they would add another meal type. But anyway, what are some of these puns? Okay, or these names? Berry, mayonnaise. I still like Genghis Khan. I like that. Slimer. Watch John Lennon and Chuck Berry perform. She ruins it by yodeling mid-perform. Sinishroom. Sinister and Mushroom. That's a pretty good one. I still think I'm leaning most towards, what was it? Genghis Khan? It's just Genghis Khan, but Gengar. For Gengar, I like Cheshire. He's not a cat, but his face... You know, I do like that. That's very fitting. I like Cheshire, too. That's a cool reference as well. Fun guy? Fun guy. Yeah, that's a pretty good one for mushroom puns. Mr. Teeth as well. I like Cheshire. I think I'm going to send it to Cheshire. That's a cool idea. Okay. Here, my shiny Gardevoir. This one's been unnamed for so long. I caught this one during the Lapis Lakeside event debut. Like during the week they released, or maybe the second week. I don't know if it was week 1 or week 2, but during the Lapis Lakeside event was when I got this shiny Gardevoir. Which one? Names whenever. Diane after Diantha. Could be. What's Wonder? Isn't Wonder Woman's name Diana? If I want to name her after Wonder Woman, Lazuli. Ooh, I do like Lazuli. Maisie like Maze. Benched. It's not. Oh yeah, it is kind of getting benched with Cresselia. I'm probably not using it as much now that I have my Cresselia, if at all. It should split the meals into categories. Certain meals should only be available for breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know, okay, I will say this. If they added a 4th meal type, and they made it guaranteed that you couldn't get the same meal twice in a row, then it might not actually be a nerf. Because you would be able to count on the idea that you're not going to get the one... Like, if they made that... I don't know how that would implement, though. But you'd be able to then only have to worry about the next week being 3 different... Like, you don't have to worry about 3 different types instead of 4. So maybe they could do something with that, but I still don't think it... Ooh, Lazuli is nice because Lapis Lazuli. Yeah, that's true. I do like Lazuli. Grandma Joe. Are you implying that it's me and Grandma? Is this what I'm going to look like when I'm a grandma? For anyone who doesn't know, my real life name is Joe. So, I've been Brown suggests Grandma Joe. I'm assuming you know my real name. True, the meal levels would be... It wouldn't take that long to level them up. Strong meals level up like that. Like, it may in 2 weeks you'd have the... If you're reliably making the top meal, I bet you in 2 weeks you'd have it level 65, maybe 3. When you're a grand... No, she's old news. Wait, so is this me and... Oh, because she's old news compared to Valentine. Oh. Grandpa Wrapped. This is a female also. You know, if this one wasn't if this one was a male, I will be honest, it would not be a Gardevoir. It would not be as much of a mainstay of my channel as it is, because I wanted to make good usage out of it because I saw like semi-usable stats, and I liked Gallade's shiny more. I would have made it into a Gallade if it was a male, but I didn't have that option. So Joe Velociraptor, legendary name. Grandpa Raptor. Okay, fair enough. I would. You know what? I'm going to go with Lazuli, because I think that's a nice callback for the fact that it was caught during the Lapis Lakeside event week. Artemis. That's an interesting reference to... I'm guessing it's a reference to mythology. Because I know that there's a Greek god named Artemis, I think. But I like Lazuli. It also references Minecraft a little bit, which is another game that I've played a lot of. Wisteria. Is this going to be a trend that every female Pokemon now is going to have at least one of you guys suggest Wisteria as the name? Okay. My leak duck. Quaquaval. And it's not the leak duck most people... If you say to most... not Wisteria. It's male. This one's not Wisteria. Moon Goddess? For... Oh, yeah, Artemis. Yes, that's the Moon Goddess. I feel like that'd be better fitting for a Cresselia. But my Cresselia is already named Valentina, so... Okay, Quaquaval. Okay, realistically, okay, people, maybe this is a hot take, but I'm gonna be real honest. I actually hate Quaquaval. It's great in this game. It has carried me. It's a very strong Pokemon in this game, but I just hate its design. I don't know what it is about it, but it is probably my least favorite starter of all time. I'm not sure there's any starter that I genuinely hate more in design than this duck. I don't know what it is I hate so much about it, but Donald, I mean, Donald's always a good name for a duck. I will say that. Wanton Pave, at least I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. Make it a singer name to go with my... Ooh, okay, that'd be a nice idea. Make it paired with, the singer names being... It is a dancing duck, though. Allium? That's a flower, I believe. Okay, I want to go more along with the singer name, because that's an interesting idea. I already named the Chansey after a singer. I guess. Bok Choy? Beaver? That's right, I remember seeing that. It was Beaver. I don't know what Snorlax's is named. I haven't seen his videos in a while, so... Singers. I'm just gonna Google singers to see what... Wait, male singers. Let's see what Google gives us when I look up male singers. Bruno Mars. Freddie Mercury. Could be Freddie. Sir Quaxalot. Got mine in one of my very first videos. Nice. Elvis. Elvis, yeah, it could be Elvis. Honestly, he kind of gives me Elvis vibes. I don't know why. That's not really Elvis's style, but, you know, like, doesn't he shake his hips in his animation? Christopher Leak. I'm kind of liking Elvis for Quaquaval. I don't know why, but it fits. Actually, I think it is my very first video. Elvis Presley. Okay, that's actually... Okay, that's combining Elvis and a pun. I have to use that. Thank you, Mawboy. That is definitely it. Elvis Presley. Oh, wait, no! Wait. It might be maybe too long. Yeah. I don't know how many characters that is. If I combine them, is it short enough? No, it's not. Okay. Oh, wait, whoops. We're just gonna name him Pressleak. That'll be enough. We'll all know the reference. Yeah, just Pressleak. Yep. Okay. Wow, I got a couple, like, on the stretch of nicknamed ones. I'm not gonna bother nicknaming this Golduck. I feel no attachment to him. He just exists. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I used main skill seeds on him, it would feel bad transferring because I used main skill seeds on him. I probably would transfer him, not gonna lie. Because I never use him. So I'm not gonna bother naming him Duck Dodgers. I could be mean to him, because I don't ever intend to use him, so... Forgotten. That's what I'm naming him. Useless. I already have a Pokemon named Useless. I can't name another one Useless. I'll name him Forgotten. Send him... Yes, Ivan Brown, I could give you this Golduck if trading were possible, but it's not. So, Goldie Dodger, just like Wisteria. Name it Ivan Brown. I'm sticking to my being mean to my Pokemon trend and naming it Forgotten. Oh, my T-Tar. I feel like I gotta name my T-Tar something. My ABC T-Tar that is my weirdest investment for sure, that I still think was a good decision. Cope. It's not Cope. I'm not naming it Cope. This thing took me to Master 20 at Snowdrop Tundra. Even if I didn't use it any other time past this point, it was worth it for that. So, it's not Cope. Wisteria will always... Wait, is it female? It is. I didn't even look at the gender. Oh, gosh. Okay, Wisteria really does not fit a T-Tar. Jeremy? Mixzilla. I don't know why, but, like, I just do not, like... Okay, I know that it's, like, an animal thing. Like, Pokemon can be... different genders, obviously. They're supposed to be like animals in the real world. Unless they're specifically supposed to have different gender ratios. Like Kangaskhan obviously have to be female. You'd think Mr. Mime would be gender locked to male, but it's not. But anyway, random tangent aside. Tyranitar does not feel like it should be possibly female. It feels like it should be gender locked, because like this does not give me female vibes. But there are a lot of Pokemon that are like that, and I don't know why. Just vibes. Germany said Bean Brown. Oh, okay. Next time I'm on a hike and see Wisteria, I'm just gonna cackle. Solgira. In the anime, I think almost every T-Tar we see are mothers. That's extra interesting. I mean, that makes sense. Like I said, it's an animal. No matter what it looks like, it should be able to be female or male. Like, menacing animals in reality can be female or male. Bears. The females are way more dangerous than the males when it comes to bears. Well, if there's a mother bear around its babies. I'm pretty well versed in bear safety. Had to talk about it quite a bit last summer. Alrighty, Tyra Banks. I mean, that's close. It's got 4 things. Tyra Banks does kind of hit. That's the... I think I know who Tyra Banks is. Yeah, she's that one model. I don't know, though. Personally, she kind of... I used to watch America's Got Talent a lot. And, when didn't Tyra Banks replace Nick, I think? I think she did, and when she did, I really did not like the transition, so I don't know. I don't know much about Tyra Banks, but I remember her replacing Nick on America's Got Talent, and she annoyed me in that. So, I don't know if I can personally let it happen. I don't normally do nicknames, but I call my mime Miss Mime unique, I know. Female. I find it so funny that they can be female Mr. Mimes. One thing I remember about Tyra Banks is that she has IBS. What an interesting thing to know about Tyra Banks. Wikipedia for the Wikiberry they have. Wait, Wikiberry? What does the Wikiberry do? cause it. Okay, they say like the dry flavor. I mean, I know the Tyranitar produces these, but it just restores health. Yachepedia. This is on Bulba Garden. Cerebi has information about it as well. I mean, dark berries are actually shockingly strong in this. Like, they're not the strongest type, but it's a stronger berry than some of the others. 31 base strength is not bad. That's the same as water type, and only one behind poison. I think a poison berry is pretty strong, so I don't know. It's a pretty strong berry. I think that's why. Although what's interesting is Tyranitar's rock before that point, which is 30, so it does gain a little bit in base berry strength as well when it evolves. Tyranitar. Tyra. Honestly, out of all the names that have been suggested, honestly, I feel like the one that's vibing with me the most is Mixilla. Just to pay homage to the mixed list. Tyra Banks with IFM. Oh gosh. Abbreviating medical conditions. Something about screw the meta. Oh gosh. I mean, because I can't even think of like other things, because not very many people have invested something like this. Especially with T-Tar. A lot of people really value T-Tar because it is just so crazy good for a ginger. Mono Shmono. No Mono. Unmetatar. You know, I kind of like that one. Unmetatar. Antitar, maybe? Antiranitar? Mono no no. Okay, that one just sounds like an ABC Dragonite with worse sub-skills, so he does really well. I mean, ABC Dragonite has a bit more going. Something that doesn't get talked about very much. ABC Dragonite is actually shockingly a contender for oil because it's so crazy good at producing it that, like, it actually makes more than you would expect. Like, it's almost the same as a Mono Cramorant with it being a C ingredient, and it's better than Ditto. So, like, it's actually not that bad. If you compare it to some other options, it's worse than, like, Luxray and Toxicroak. Anyway, that's just a tangent. Mete BC-Tar. Oh, it gets talked about in the subreddit a lot. I mean, fair enough. It's just, yeah, because oil has a lot of terrible options. Like, Cramorant is so sad. Yeah, but Cramorant's, it's interesting. Cramorant's got some stuff going for it with the skill. The skill is what makes it, if you ignore the skill completely, then yeah, it's a terrible, terrible Pokemon. But the skill is so unique and interesting that it's got something going for it. You just have to make good use of the skill and the oil, which is difficult to do. Anyway, I think I like Unmetatar the most, is the one that I'm leaning most towards, I think. Just because it's like saying stick the meta. My Mono is main skill chance down. Woof. Because that's like really the only thing that it's got going for it, like, in comparison to other oil options. I'm gonna go with Unmetatar, I think. Yeah, Malboy, I'm not going with that. I'm not going with that suggestion. Thanks for the suggestion, though. Okay, Unmetatar. Okay. Oh gosh, my early game healer. That's honestly better than most of my late game healers. But I never invested fully. Tartar Sauce, Rockzilla. I do like those as well. I'm going to stick with Unmetatar, though, for now. I don't know if I want... Do I want to rename this guy? Gal? I don't know. I don't really know if I care enough about it to rename it. It's something that's just been... I don't ever use it unless I'm at Cyan. Like, if I go to Cyan, I sometimes use it. Wig Stereo. Okay, no one needs to suggest another one. That's... There. Okay. And he's Wiggly Bard because of D&D. That's fair enough. Oh, my Flareon. I always forget I have this guy. Other than when I'm thinking about, like, in off weeks, then, like, I remember that the pod expansion exists, you know? Wig Stare. That was just too good. I'm not even going to take other suggestions. Like, given the context, it was just too good. I'm going to come back and be like, what's with all these names? And then like, oh yeah, that's right. I let chat name my Pokemon. Do I change the name of the stream to chat names my Pokemon? Can I even change the stream name? I don't think I can. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, now this Flareon is actually male, following the typical ratio. Honestly, I feel like Bernie is like... I don't know why... Honestly, Bernie kind of feels like something that I can come up with, but... That feels very basic. I don't know. Wig Stereo. Yes, I know. You can update the title for the VOD. Okay, sure. Cauldron. Ash. Ooh, I do like Ash. And interestingly enough, okay. The RPG sessions that... The RPG session that I missed tonight... one of the characters that's played by one of the other players is named Ash in that campaign. Wisteria. That stupid flower is gonna haunt me the rest of my life, isn't it? I'm gonna go with Ash because that's got some interesting layers with the fact that tonight I'm missing a session with a character named Ash. I think that's kind of neat. I always forget I have this. Wait, no, this is my long-term invest Raichu. My very long-term invest Raichu that I don't know if I'll ever actually get it to be good, but we'll see. It's kind of a long-term project of mine. I throw it on every now and then. I've gotten to level 54. I haven't really put candies into it at all, but it's something that's like, I can level it a little bit. Level 75, don't know how long it'll come out. Sorry, I may have missed if you responded, but was there anything specific we should be prepping for the noon with a good camp ticket? If you're super premium and pay a lot, then I'd say it's worth a good camp ticket, but if you just have the premium pass, and that's the only way you get your good camp tickets, and you don't spend extra for more of them, then I'd say just hold it for bigger events. It's very similar. I think it's going to be similar to the strength of the New Moon event, or not the New Moon event, the Full Moon event, and I never even think about running a good camp ticket for that, so I wouldn't say it's worth a good camp ticket if you're short on them. Investiture. You know what? Okay, wait. Investiture is actually a great one because it's that goes along with the naming scheme for my other ones. So we'll do that. It's basically just try and catch Rai, right? Personally, I'm thinking probably don't try to catch Darkrai. I'd say it's best used... I think the boosts are best used on 16-pip Pokemon that show up, that you're trying to hunt for. Obviously, if you're not trying to hunt for any particular 16-pip Pokemon, don't use them. Eventually is already in use by one of my... Oh, gosh. So I wouldn't say just try and catch Darkrai. Honestly, I think Darkrai is a trap option for... We'll see. I still am holding out hope that there's going to be some sort of mechanic to make catching Darkrai easier. Because they haven't really confirmed for us exactly what catching Darkrai is going to look like. They've said that the only things that we know, it takes biscuits, you increase your friendship level, and that the bar is currently shown as 25 pips. We don't know if it's going to be higher hungry rates. We don't know if it's going to have, like, one biscuit is a mega hit. Like, we don't know how befriending it is going to look like exactly. All we know is it takes biscuits. That's been confirmed. It's been confirmed that a full bar equals 1 Eureka Seed. We haven't been told that there are maybe other ways to get them or anything like that. So we haven't been told that if there are or are not Darkrai biscuits. That's another point. If it is 25 pips per Eureka Seed, then I genuinely suggest that everybody stay away from Darkrai. Don't bother. It is something that is strictly just trying to get the Mega Whales to wail even more. And honestly, I think that if it is 25 pips per seed, and that is the only way to get them, and they don't have any way to get Darkrai biscuits or anything like that, if they don't have any way to make befriending Darkrai easier, then I will be making a video about it, but not the optimal Darkrai set. My video about Darkrai is going to be more about why I don't like the way they implemented Befriend or Eureka Seeds is the case, and how I think that it should be changed. Because I think that, honestly, if it is just a flat 25 pips with our current resources, and there's no way to make it easier, and it's 25 pips per seed, and that's the only way to get the seeds, then I genuinely think that it's a bit of a... I think it's a bit of a manipulative tactic. Because it feels like roundabout gotcha in my mind. Of you're spending money on more biscuits, you use those biscuits to get seeds, you use those seeds to gamble a single slot on Darkrai. That's gotcha. So, realistically, I'm just like, I don't want to give it biscuits if that's the way they implement it, because I wouldn't even feel good if I got a good one. Because I feel like then me showing off my good success in Darkrai is going to make other people want to invest up Darkrai. And I wouldn't suggest it to anybody if that is the way they implement it. So, that is my thoughts with it. And as far as the new Moon event goes, I think there's better ways to optimize it than playing it around Darkrai. Use the new Moon event for Pokemon that are harder to catch, primarily 16-pip Pokemon. I think they are the best candidates for this event, because regular Pokemon, 5 pips, you're pretty much going to be able to catch them like pretty easily most days. They're more common, things like that. And you don't necessarily want to, like, whether or not they get all full, that really only matters for free-to-play players. Now, free-to-play players use it to guarantee catches on 5 pips. If you're premium, though, you have guaranteed catches anyway. So, but use it to drop a bunch of biscuits on the 16 pips that are a lot more rare, that you're looking to boost your specific account. That's my advice with the boosts that are offered to the new moon. Or, if you have another thing, it's got a shiny boost. If you have an incense for a Pokemon that you really want a shiny of, the best time to use it to optimize your odds of getting a shiny of that Pokemon specifically is to use the incense during a new moon event, now that we have a guaranteed event every month that there is a shiny boost for. So, potentially, like, let's say if you really love shiny Blastoise, and you get build up some Squirtle incense from Cyan Beach, use it to shiny hunt the Squirtle. So, that's another thing that you can do with it, shiny hunt. Or you can go to islands where you have higher level friendship with Pokemon that have the more boosts. So, yeah. Hoping this means a lot of shiny crows for the Crestminster. It could. Theoretically, it's a higher shiny boost, and Murkrow, Haunchcrow are boosted in spawn rates. So, theoretically, it should have the best shiny output. Although it's also only 3 days instead of 7 for the actual event where they're boosted. I'm going to continue the Crestminster. You can catch the crows throughout the whole week. I'm going to wait till like the week after they debut, just to make sure I have decent amount of entrances, give a lot of people more opportunity to encounter them. Because if you don't get dozing in those 3 nights, then you're not going to see them. There's no pseudo-balanced for the new moon event. So that's why I'm continuing the Crestminster past the event, or like the entrances for the Crestminster. But realistically, well, it'll be interesting to see what you guys submit for the Crestminster. Good shout, since I'm new, was going to use my first Squirtle incense for tonight. We'll wait. Yeah, yeah, if you hold it onto it a little bit, you can have a little shiny boost. Slightly higher shiny odds. Don't know how much it's going to be boosted by, but it'll be interesting to see. There is pseudo... Wait, there is pseudo balance? It was at... Oh, okay. There is, but only for those 3 days. They must... Okay, they just added... I remember reading it and thinking it was notable that there was no pseudo balance, but... Okay, I have to see this, though. I believe you guys. I just want to double check. It was changed. Okay, well, that's good. I'm gonna pull it up here. Okay. I'm glad they changed that, because that felt kind of off that it wasn't. I hope that's only for the first one, though, because if it is a monthly recurring event... Honestly, actually, no. I would love to see pseudo-balanced all the time. Personally, I think that it should just always be pseudo-balanced, or if not, they should give us ways to see other sleep types Pokemon without it being... Like I've always loved the idea of a utility skills Pokemon that, like, the more it procs, the more likely you have a chance to encounter off-type Pokemon on that night. But they don't have a function like that, and I don't think they have any intention of putting a function like that. But, okay, yeah. So it does say, yeah, they added this then. That's nice. That's good to know. Yeah. Otherwise, they should just give us pseudo-balanced all the time. I remember... Let's see. In Rain on X, you actually can find the event details. Events. New Moon Day. Sleep style appearance modification. Yes, so appearance rate of actual sleep type percent. It's 30%. So, if you guys didn't know, they actually can data mine the numbers, apparently, of how much it is adjusted by. So this is the way that it is. It's 30% is the actual, like, what your actual is. The other 70%... Now, I believe that the way that this works... Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that means the other 70% are balanced. So, like, 30% are fixed to be... Now, I don't know how that works, because there'd be rounding error, because, like, 1 of 8 Pokemon is, like, 12.5%, so does that mean, like, 2? Because that's 25%, then the last one, like, 5. I don't know how that works. But either way, it looks like 30% is going to be roughly the amount that is fixed. I think the other 70% then is then balanced between the 3. So, if I'm right, then that calculates out to 33% of 70% plus the 30% is what the actual would be. So, we can see that the pseudo-balancing is data mined to be 30% is how it normally is. Apparently. When it generates DPS and the mon for the sleep or drowsy power, sleep style, and leftover should go to a random low mon of any sleep type, so I don't get 1 cool sleep style and 6 rats. I would love to see if they actually used all the drowsy, because a lot of drowsy power gets wasted, especially the higher and higher sleep, the higher and higher your, drowsy power gets, the more insane of a difference. If we do a Monte Carlo simulation, you can actually see this in Rain on X. We want to be able to... Yeah, I have it set to Monte Carlo. Why is it not letting me... Let's see, if we're at Old Gold, at... Let's just generate from, like, 3 million to 7 million strength, and just see how that compares. And we're only going to do, like, 5 data points, because I don't want this to take forever. Normal... No pseudo balance for this. Let's calculate this out. Let's assume I don't know, a snoozing sleep session. We'll let that load for a little bit. So hard to get new sleep types. Why do they have to punish us for sleeping consistently the same way each night? Yeah, that's always a decent question. So, if we look at the average drowsy power percent usage, even at 3 million, you're looking at 95%, and it dips off to, like, at 7 million Snorlax strength, you're only using 59, like 60% of the drowsy power you have. It'd be interesting to see this actually go back further. Let's change this up. Let's bring this actually to 1 million. My computer can handle it, right? We'll also give it a few more things. Monte Carlo is really light on the not as taxing. So yeah, early on in the week, until you hit, like, I guess, like, 3 million is about when you start using less drowsy power, and then it just, like, drops off. But yeah, they do kind of punish to an extent for getting the same sleep types all the time. I definitely feel like there should be some sort of pseudo-balancing all the time. Because, like, it still is giving you your sleep type. You're still going to see more Pokemon of that type, even when it's pseudo-balanced. It's not like it's balanced all week long. There still is a 0.2 different sleep types. This is devastating news. Yeah, if you're at, like, past 3 million, you're starting to, like, your drowsy power is just getting wasted. Quite a bit of it is. Just unlocked Lapis a few weeks ago, so it's a grind to finding the high-tier chase mons. Yeah, the Ralts hunt is difficult. I will say that. When you just get there the first time. Oh, wow, Lapis, it really drops off. I guess Olgo Power Plant is the least extreme because it has the best rewards. It has more high drowsy power spawns. I wonder if it's Cyan. Not okay. You guys got me down a weird. Whew, don't get the 7 million drowsy power at Cyan or 7 million Snorlax strength. You'll only be using 33% of that, apparently. Wow. Okay, yeah. So it hard drops off on some islands. This is in millions for drowsy power. This is in millions for Snorlax strength. So if I have Master 20 Greengrass, 3.7 mil, that's times 100, which is way over. No, this is in Snorlax strength. This is measuring Snorlax strength. If I was saying drowsy power, I apologize. But, oh, thank goodness. Yeah. But still, even at 3.4 million Snorlax strength at Greengrass, you're still wasting about 30% of your drowsy power. 3.4 million Snorlax strength is coming up that way at Greengrass. You're wasting about, like I said, about 30%. And I wonder if that is consistent for Master 20. Because, okay, at Cyan, it's roughly 3.7 million. I guess I can't really see it because I have less degree of precision. You know what? We'll test my computer a bit more. This is going to slowly take more and more if I get more data points in here. But, okay. 3.7 million is around where it hits. So it's about 40% loss on Cyan. What's up, King? Yo, Bernie Games. Glad to have you in chat. Find at very high drowsy power, it's better to do naps if possible. Yeah, that is true, because then you're splitting. In fact, we can actually see that. This tool is very powerful. If I do a dual sleep specified and make it, let's say, if we make it a specified split sleep of, let's say it's 2080. Once you hit that breakpoint, just run your Dream Shard Magnet Mons and prep. Yeah, that's what I would say. If you have Dream Shard Magnet Mons, that is. Otherwise, obviously, splitting will help. But if you do 20 and 100 or 2080s split sleep sessions, then you're wasting a lot less drowsy power. If you're at, let's see, this was Cyan, Master 20, that's like 3.7 mil. It's showing 80% versus 60% before. So you're using a lot more of that drowsy power. As for, I did not look at the numbers. 3.8 million, it's showing combined, that 29k versus the hundo. What was the hundo at? It doesn't make that big of a difference, I know, actually. I did a lot of studying on this. I've made a video on it in the past. It was, what, 29k before? Now it's 32k. Wow, it's actually better. Dream Shard-wise, it's actually better not to split, according to this calculation. Alrighty. Good morning. Good morning, Slowbo Dragon. Good to have you in chat. I did almost twice Master 20 on Cyan during set. Oh, but I was also doing for a 2080 split. I guess a 50-50 split's probably better. Yeah, but why do we need to optimize for drowsy power usage? Yeah, I know. That's always the question. Yeah, optimize for the rewards, not necessarily drowsy power. Although I will say, okay, if you do 50-50s, it is better. According to this calculation that I ran here at Cyan. And it was a thing after your video about how it got nerfed. Yeah, and also, wait a minute. I don't know. Have they accounted for the nerf in here? I don't actually know. Because I remember for a while, Rain on X had like a disclaimer at the top that was like, we don't account for nerfs. So I guess they probably do account for the nerf now, if they don't have that disclaimer anymore. I might need to redo my Dream Shard video now that I can actually, or at least that portion of the video, now that we have this information. But 39k compared to, I think it was 29k for combined Dream Shard Research XP rewards. So I guess it is technically better if you can do 50-50s. But 50-50s are unachievable for most people because it's harder to get a longer session on the first session. Like, super hard to get the longer on the first session. I wonder what 90-10s look like. Because realistically, the second sleep session, you're not looking for a lot of strength on. You're just looking for it to get a few more spawns. I mean, it's still I still think there's a place for it if you really want to min-max the game. But it's not amazing anymore. Before it was like, if you want to min-max and really optimize it, then like, you realistically had to be napping to be playing optimally for most players' goals. Sleep styles was like the one exception. If you weren't napping, it still was better for sleep styles to just go consistent hundreds. But in most circumstances, before they nerfed napping, it was like, just nap, and it was almost always better. Almost always better. I find it easy to get a long first sleep session. You just have to have your plus sit there for the day, and when you would go to sleep, you just sleep as normally would. I guess you could do that, because you'd be relying on it naturally timing out from slumbering, if I had to guess. Because after, I think it's 6 hours, if I'm right, it then says there's no way you're a real human that's sleeping for 6 hours. So it just ends it. Nice. Bread with a layer of peanut butter. That sounds pretty tasty. I'll show my Americanism right now and say, have you ever had peanut butter jelly? I've heard that that's just a thing in the US and like not many other places. So peanut butter and jelly, it's a good combo if you haven't tried it. Okay. Best part of my week so far has been this moment seeing you live. Glad to hear that, Cameron Crane. That's cool to see. The problem could be energy for some because you get less recovery overnight, so you may use an incense or resort to some rotation that covers that. I mean, okay. Energy, I mean, you still get the full 100 energy back. It's just spaced out. If you're not running a healer, then yes, that can be a problem. Because you're never going to get a single hundo. But, oh, it does exist there. Okay, in the Netherlands. Peanut butter and jelly could also be double of the same Pokemon species if we're back-to-back nicknames. Oh, gosh. If they ever had grapes to the game and peanuts... Have you made a video yet about what you want to see from a challenge mode? I have not. I've not. I don't really know what I want to see from challenge. I've got so many ideas of what it could be. Because, okay, the way that they phrased the challenge mode announcement was like... Okay, let's see. It'd be this one, I think. No, it's not that one. It's not updates, it's updates. Okay, this is random side tangent, but why is, if you're sorting in the news, there's two things that are both called updates. The first updates is updates to the game. That is like version changes and the update contents. The second updates button when you're on the website, this has to be a translation thing. This one is like updating you about the information that's going on. So like this is the one that I want in this circumstance, but that's a whole different thing. If we scroll back, random side tangent aside, but I just always find that funny. Okay, it doesn't exist where Sonja is from, Italy. That's interesting. We have it in a jar like Smucker's peanut butter in Malaysia. Oh, yeah, like I think it's called Goober. Yeah. It is spaced out, but you wouldn't necessarily need it during the day. So sometimes I like to... Oh, I see what you're saying. We're going to sleep to get the most... That makes sense. Because you don't need the extra energy during the day. Okay. I can see that. Usually I have good on energy during the day, so just kind of wasting energy at half hour overnight. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, when was that announcement? It was before the holiday. Here in Japan, PB&J doesn't exist. Peanut butter. It's a good combo. Great for lunches. Or, like, if you need a quick pack of lunch or something. Mix just bread, peanut butter, jelly, bread. How you actually make it is a very talked about concept. There's an old Studio C sketch about how to make a peanut butter jelly. Everyone's got a different order to when they put the peanut butter and the jelly on, but that's a whole different thing. I have to go to Costco if I want quality peanut butter. That's rough. Anyway, so, okay. We already got this tier. We already got this thing. Development of a new event, stylistically different from existing events. This was Cresselia versus Darkrai. Yeah, Studio C. I used to watch old Studio C. Haven't watched it in a while, though. Chat, what have I started? That's always a good question. As an Aussie, I learned about peanut butter and jelly from a PC game called Freddy Fish. Grandma Grouper says Freddy a peanut butter and jelly fish sandwich. I've got a picture to show you. Oh boy. I'll have to check that. Jelly doesn't mean the same thing in England as in America. Probably true for other countries. Okay, this is a very random side tangent. In Europe, we eat hazelnut butter instead of peanut butter. Okay, I'm guessing that's like Nutella. But I've seen it in stores for some time now. Before that, it was not existing here. That's a lie, Gail. There is quality peanut butter in the Aeon. Well, a lot of peanuts, so I recommend I make a PB&J myself. Yeah, Nutella. Okay, yeah. I've had Nutella before. Nutella's really good. I ran into the big mustache Studio C public a few years ago. Never talked to him. Just weird to see him a few times. That's crazy. If I ever saw someone that I knew from like a YouTube channel out in real life, well, I'd be shocked because where I'm at, there aren't that many people that do YouTube. So, I've fallen in love with blackberry jam. I used it for 6 peanut butter jellies in the last 2 days. I find it funny that on this Pokemon Sleep channel, this is a nutty conversation, Jacob. I will say that. I was not imagining. This is like when we had that tangent in like a stream or two ago about NFC North. I remember we had that conversation. People were like, "How did we get on this topic?" We have Kaya in my country, which is basically a coconut milk jam. Super good with butter and bread. I could see that. I could see that. I do like coconut milk. And coconut flavored things. But yeah, the addition of the new mode, the challenge mode, this is phrased so vaguely. It's like, various kinds of Pokemon to shine. What does that mean? We're just sharing sandwich ideas in Scarlet and Violet. Oh gosh. I've never played Scarlet and Violet. I've never finished a base Pokemon game in my life as of right now. I am 22 and I have never finished a base game Pokemon game. So, I've played through like half of Heart Gold. Execute. I feel like if they would add it, it would have eggs for sure, right? Or would that be dark? Would they not have eggs? That feels wrong, actually. Could have named her Gardevoir. Hope is a new metric for the Pokemon that is independent of stats that currently exist. Potentially. Puts Pokemon in the pot. Execute are actually seeds in lore, I believe. That would make sense because they turn into Exeggutor, who's like a tree thing. Both forms are kind of tree things. Chansey has eggs. What do you... That's true. Well, it's holding an egg. You're 22 now. I feel... Yes, I am 22. I turned 22 on the 22nd last year. 22nd of December. So, yeah. Sorry for making anyone feel old out there, because I'm a bit younger than most people out there. But Exeggutor is definitely a coconut head. Yes, Exeggutor is, I believe, but Execute looks like eggs. Both of them, yeah. Oh god, you share the same birthday as... Oh, interesting. Something also very random. I shared the same birthday as my... Well, not date of birth. Obviously, my mom's older than me, but I share a birthday with my mom, so that's very interesting. You were 15 when the Pokemon Sleep trailer was released. Yeah, and I didn't know Pokemon Sleep existed until I was like 20 on its... like 3 days before its release. Or not even 3 days before its release. If you had told me that this is what I was going to be doing 3 years down the road, I would have been like, what, where is my life gone? What took me down that path? Well, I guess it'd be pretty obvious. YouTube, a game ropes me in, that would make sense, but still. Obviously my mom is older than me. Quote of the night. Coconuts could be a bee ingredient. Coconuts would be an interesting ingredient. Okay, this is another random side tangent, but have you guys ever noticed the difference in how big some of these ingredients theoretically should be? Like, we have got a full-fledged apple compared to 3 soybeans compared to an entire cob of corn? Like, some of these are definitely... Or, like, I imagine, like, a bean sausage. I don't know how big that typically is, but... Like, some of these things definitely are more in, like, how big they would be compared to other things. Weirdly enough, I've never met someone with the same birthday as me, not even over the internet, except on my primary school class. You definitely didn't play LOA. The entire pot of money. Yeah, okay, this is probably the most calorie-dense... Like, the most calories in a single ingredient in Pokemon Sleep as of right now. This is the analysis. Yeah, like, I wonder, what... Okay, this could be a very interesting video idea. Okay. Okay. This could be an interesting video idea. Which meal in the game has the most calories? Where do the jars come from? Okay, it's probably definitely Clodsire Eclairs, let's be honest. 22 jars of honey and 26 bottles of milk. That definitely feels like the most caloric intake out of all these things. Including the pot and lid. Yes, we do also throw in the pot and lid for the ingredients. Because we see them all in the pot cooking, like... How much glass does Snorlax consume? That's another question we'd have to ask. High calories and sugar. Yeah, these Clodsire Eclairs. 413 calories in 1 quart of milk. Okay, how many ounces do you think are in this Moo Moo milk? Has that been standardized? How many ounces are in a jar of... Is it 1 quart? Okay, wait. As featured in Pokemon Holiday and Home Bottle and Plate Set. Okay, so in real life, they've made a jar that's 8 ounces. So I guess if we use this conversion of 8 ounces for a jar of Moo Moo milk... Who knows where the milk tank is? I have no clue. Okay, wait. 28 ounces. Yeah. Okay. How many calories are in 8 ounces of milk? So yeah, 108 calories, like you said earlier, or 413 calories in one. Okay. So you just have to do 108 times... How many was it? 26? Where's my calculator? Gosh, I have too many tabs open. 108 times 26. 2,808 calories. And that's just the milk content of Clodsire Eclairs alone. let's not even question the honey. Um, that's already the daily limit. I don't even, because okay, this is good because obviously the honey doesn't actually have like a nice conversion, but let's just assume it's 8 ounces. This looks like it'd probably hold more. This needs to be a spreadsheet. It could be a spreadsheet, that's for sure. Give me a moment. I'll make a spreadsheet real quick. That requires me to go through my drives, so give me a moment here. Snorlax's daily limit. That does have to be more than a human's. Okay. So if I add this here, we got a spreadsheet open now. Okay. Milk. We've already determined the milk was 2808. Okay. Each Moo Moo milk is worth 108 calories, right? Yes, each Moo Moo milk is 108 calories. And then Clodsire Eclairs uses... Let's do a quick calories per ingredient. Yep, impromptu deep dive. Ingredients needed. And then calories. Okay. We need 26. 26 for the Clodsire Eclairs. So then equals this times this. Okay, let's get to the honey then. Could be a tiny jar of honey. You've seen the 25-gram Nutella jars. Okay, if we assume 8 ounces of every ingredient except corn, that should be a good metric. Yeah, I feel like that's a decent thing. I have a weird power of asking questions nobody has and disrupting streams from their original purpose. I mean, my streams don't have an original purpose. I came into it saying New Moon Event strategy talks, but you know, I like stuff like this. So, let's see. Okay. Oh wait, I looked up 9 ounces of milk. Wait a minute. I might have been off. Okay, it's only 96 calories. Wait a minute. We'll correct that. 24.96. That's what it is. Now let's look at the same thing for honey. Because I feel like the jars of honey are probably like the same. Okay, so 691. That's a bit more. If we assume it's a 25-ounce glass of jar of honey, that's a lot. Oh gosh, 691. Question is it whole milk, 2% or 1%? I think the thing that we looked up was for 1%. But that also would make a difference. And it uses what, 22 honey? Yeah, 22 honey. 15,202 calories. These recipes are probably the 1 part this, 2 parts that kind of recipe, where a part could be an amount from an ounce to a pound. In Snorlax's defense, don't all the Mons eat the meals at once? Yeah, theoretically it is being shared between 6 Pokemon. Now granted, Snorlax's portion is a little bit bigger than the rest, because in like the image, you gotta get like a pixel analysis to see how much Snorlax is eating over the other ones. Still think Defiant Salad wins. I don't know about that, because Defiant doesn't have honey. I mean, I guess the oil. Okay, which one is more, Defiant or Clodsire Eclairs? This is a good question. In calories, because this is where most of it's going to be for the Clodsire Eclairs. Like, how much is a single cacao bean? Like, how many calories are in a single cacao bean? A single cacao bean contains 6.2 calories. And it very clearly in the art is just 1 bean. Can we agree with that? A single cacao bean is... Okay. So... requiring an estimated 880 pounds of food per day. This equal... Oh gosh. No, that's a pod. Beans. Oh, okay. So how many beans are... Okay, wait. How many beans are in a pod? Beans are in a cocoa pod. Let's see. 20 to 50. Or 30 to 50 according to this site. So let's assume 40. So if there's 6.2 calories per bean, and we assume 40 beans per pod, then each cacao is 248 calories. That feels more fitting. That's still more than the milk, shockingly. Okay. And that's 30? Yeah, 30. Thank you for knowing things about real world, Ian. Yes, thank you. 30 ingredients needed for this. So that's an additional 7,000 calories. And then we're just looking at coffee beans. Now this has got to be low, because there's, what, 5 beans depicted there? Yeah, I think there's 5 beans. Because there's, like, one behind this one right here, there's one right there, and then one right there. Like, there's 2 that are kind of hidden. So there's 5 coffee beans. Okay. How many calories are in a single coffee bean? Okay. Well then, this is easy to figure out. 20 grams of... So it'd be in grams of coffee beans. Okay, wait. How many calories are in a gram of coffee beans? Okay, so a gram of coffee beans is 0.01 calories. How many coffee beans are in a gram? We have a conversion. 7 to 10 are in a gram. So 2 of them is 1 gram. 1 gram is 0.01 calories. This is definitely going to make a difference in all of our calculations, guys. So 2 beans are 0.01 So each ingredient is 0.005. This is definitely contributing a lot of strength to the, or calories to the Clodsire Eclairs. So we have 24 of them. Hey, we got an additional 0.12 calories. Okay, so we figured out all of it. Okay. Good luck winning Defiant Salad. Okay, what's the total? Let's just take the sum. So it's 25,000 calories. Now let's do this all again, but for Defiant Salad. So, they actually share coffee. But there's 28. It's got more coffee. But now it's the bean sausage, potatoes, and oil. Bean sausage. I'm just gonna label sausage because we don't have as many character, or we don't have as big of a box. Okay. Oil and potatoes. No. Sorry. Okay. We can adjust these. Okay, I respect you, I take it back. How much coffee beans do we need to add to give Snorlax a caffeine overdose? Well, I don't know how much coffee's gonna be in a single bean. Okay. Now, how big are the bean sausage things? Like, I don't know how big the... What is the metric we're using for bean sausage? Because this can vary in size, right? These are kind of charts I want to be presenting at work. How many calories in a Slowpoke tail? Okay, Slowpoke tails are probably something we're not going to get a calorie conversion. I mean, we can maybe find something. Okay, we'll talk about that one later because that we might come. Okay, also I've got to say, Petal Blizzard could also be a contender because it doesn't have coffee. I'm just noticing this. Yes, it's got less ingredients, but of the ingredients that actually contribute something, this one, Defiant, only has like 72. I mean, I guess 72 is still more than 69, so I guess it might have more going for it. The real question is, how calorie dense is bean sausage compared to eggs? A Slowpoke tail is a Snickers ice cream bar? Oh gosh. Okay, let's just bean sausage. Calories? Let's assume 8 ounces, because we went 8 ounces with eggs, I feel like. So I feel like if we had 8 ounces of bean sausage, right? Herbs are gonna be... Herbs are probably gonna be, like, nothing. Because it's just a single leaf. I feel like that's gonna be, like, next to nothing. AI overview... Learn. More vegetarian sausage contain about 200 to 250 calories per 100 grams. Yeah, the question is, how many grams do we have here? Like, this is probably one of the more difficult ones to get, because we have no gauge on how big of a bean sausage this is. Like, how big is this bean sausage? I really have no clue. I'm gonna guess, how much is 8 ounces of meat? Like, okay, an 8-ounce steak, that's pretty big. That'd be a lot. Right? Maybe I'm having my metrics wrong. I need to see how big an 8-ounce steak is, just for comparison. That's not terribly huge. Like, that's decent size. So let's go with 8 ounces of bean sausage. I feel like that might be a good comparison. Because we want 8 ounces of milk, right? And 8 ounces of honey. So, bean sausage... We'll use your, Isn't there a standardized sausage size from the UK? Wait a minute. Standard sausage UK size. You know what? Just in case, this is kind of a sketchy search. I'm gonna not have this one on stream. Okay, it's safe. Okay, 22 to 35 millimeters in length. With larger casings, 4, 8, 16, and 32 to the pound. Hey, I'm just making sure that my stream is safe, okay? It is about Pokemon, okay? Okay, Sausage sizes guide from the sausageman.co.uk. This is the best stream yet. Okay, standard sausage UK calorie count. Okay, we have a reading finally. Oh, but this would just be for a regular sausage. We need to then convert it to bean sausage. Okay. So if a regular sausage is 239 calories, then for vegan sausage, calories compared to... What was that for? This is for pork, I think? Pork sausage, yeah. This is all the... Okay. Fewer calories, a 3.5 ounce pork, kind of 268. Vegan... Okay, 27% fewer... We'll go off 27% fewer calories. So, we have a metric here. We'll take two... So that's 73% of this. So 239 times 0.73. There we go. Size does matter, people. If I had wrote up earlier words, this would get one. We're saving the silly stream. It is. Okay, so 174 calories. That's what we'll use. I think if anyone has a problem with the way we reached that, then complain about it. I don't care. And it takes 28. 28 bean sausage. That's a decent amount. Okay, now oil. We'll go off the same 8 ounces as we did with the honey. So, now it is called pure oil. We don't know if that's vegetable oil. We don't know if that's, theoretically it could be like baby oil for all we know. It's just called pure oil. Like, that's probably vegetable oil if I had to guess. It could be seed oil. Vegetable oil, 8 ounces, calories. It's pure oil. Yes, I know. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think Defiant Salad's probably going to win this one. Could be palm oil if you're from Malaysia. Yeah. What if it was seed oil? Is that different? Seed oil is a little bit lower, 1600 to 1800. I don't think it's motor oil. Something tells me it's not motor oil. What about palm oil? It could be coconut oil. Okay, palm oil is very similar to vegetable oil. 2001. Coconut oil? Coconut oil is a little bit less. Not a whole lot less. We'll just... Yeah, it's all fat. Okay. 2001 is what I saw for most of them. 22 helpings of it in Defiant. Okay, yeah, Defiant's already beating out. Defiant's already beating out, it by a landslide. We haven't even put in the last ingredient, the potatoes. Okay, this one should be an easy search. It's being used in popcorn and salads. Means it's probably not crude oil. Oh, yeah, probably not crude oil. That's for sure. Okay. And then the last thing, potatoes. Calories of a single potato. Now, this could also vary from size, because we don't know how big of a... So, like, I'm just going to use a medium potato, just to go around 160 calories. See y'all later, guys. See you later, Gale Force. We're going to go off 160 for a potato. And it takes 22. There we go. 52,000 calories in a single Defiant coffee dress salad. Cramorant has all the ingredients for French fries, but still eats Pikachu. That is true. There you go. When your mom tells you to eat your salad, tell her a nice chocolate dessert is healthier and link her this spreadsheet. That's very true. It's like less than half the calories. A single Clodsire Eclair has less than half the calories of the salad. What about Petal Blizzard, though? No coffee and has eggs, maybe more. Yeah, but the thing is, Petal Blizzard has less overall ingredients, and the other ingredients are all kind of the same. Bean sausage, oil, and potatoes. So, even though it has 25 more eggs, even if we took the 28 out of here, it's still 72. So, like, I could calculate it, but I just feel like it's not going to come out better, or worse, I guess, in this case. That's why people on a diet never lose weight. Check it out for the spreadsheet. Because, yeah, I feel like, yeah, some of these, I don't know. Although apple acid, eggs are real well, but not nearly like the oil. Okay, we'll make it for Petal Blizzard. So this will be really easy because we can just copy this over. And then we just have to change the numbers and then eggs. So we'll change this to eggs. And then the numbers just need to change. So 12 sausage, 15 potatoes, 17 oil. They're not really that high in calories, eggs. Yeah, but how tall is Chansey? What is the size of those eggs? You know, that's, if Chansey's... Well, but Chansey just holds that egg. Is that the egg we're eating? Of a single egg. Oh, yeah. A single egg really isn't that much. It's like... Even if we use a large egg, we'll say 72. If we... I mean, it's still more than, significantly more than the Clodsire Eclairs. But it's nowhere, it's about 12k off of Defiant. Okay, what are some other things that could be insane? The oil is definitely the way to go to optimize. I feel like most amount of calories. Oil is by far going to be the thing that 8 ounces being 2,000 calories. That's definitely going to be the worst ingredient. If there's ever a meal with oil and honey, that's probably going to be the most insane thing. Yeah. Slowpoke tails are mostly fat, though. That's a good point. But also, the meals that take tails don't have very many of them. A Slowpoke is pretty big, though. What would be... Okay. Should we try and, size? Okay. If Slowpoke exists... What is the closest thing to... animal to a real... in real life... to a Slowpoke Pokemon? Salamander or hippopotamus? It's like a what? Pigtail, pig bacon. This tree is good. There is a Slowpoke life-size plush. Okay. Okay, so it's a cross between a hippo and a salamander. That doesn't help me at all. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to ask Google, what is the caloric content of a Slowpoke tail? Will Google have an answer for this? No, it does not. It has measurements in the Pokédex. Okay. Use Snickers ice cream bars king size. I mean, if we use that, then it might work. I don't... The Slowpoke tail measurements? ChatGPT between 1/3 and 1/2 its total length. Okay, wait. The Slowpoke is roughly 1 foot and 6.8 inches. Okay, wait a minute. So its tail is 1/3 to 1/2 of its length. So if we take the average of that, that'd be 1/3 to 1/2. That'd be 2/6 to 3/6. So it'd be 5/12. So if I'm doing the math right there, I'm doing that mentally. Okay. Chat, how big is Slowpoke's tail? Oh gosh, what is this stream devolved to? Okay, 1/3 and 1/2 its total length. So, Slowpoke's tail, it is 1 foot 6.8 inches. I'm just gonna round that to 8. Okay, if it's 18.8 inches, 8 inches times 0.5, so it's anywhere from 9.4 inches to... Oh, darn it, I wasn't typing that. 6.3. So 6.3 to 9.4 inches. Let's just average those. We'll say 7.9. 7.9 inches is roughly the length of a Slowpoke tail. Okay. Now, what sort of meat is going to be as calorically dense as that? One could analyze Slowpoke models to figure out... Okay. How tall is a chicken? Because you say a whole chicken has 1,300 calories. A chicken is roughly twice that size. You know, this isn't perfect, but if you just took the calories in a chicken and cut it in half, that might roughly get you it. Especially since the tail ideally is like pure meat. And then we could just use 650. We could round down for... better than like 600. That's still, yeah, tail meals are definitely not coming close. Well, chicken is white meat. That's also true. Okay, and yeah, Slowpoke would not be white meat. Slowpoke is a cross between... Okay, what is the calorie content of hippo meat? Because it's based on a hippo, right? Well, it's hippo and lizard combined, right? So what if we average the caloric density of a hippo meat and of lizard meat? Snickers are very... Snickers, yeah, that would still be an easy way to go about it. Okay, iguana... Let's just look up iguana meat's caloric density. 100 grams is 119 calories. Okay. I'm just gonna write that down. FBI thinking, what is this, man? I've never... Okay, now let's look up hippopotamus meat. AI's got the answer to everything, guys. Or Google does. Okay. 203 and 100 grams. Okay, so 203. If Slowpoke is a cross between an iguana and a hippopotamus, then we just have to average those. So, for 100 grams. Sorry. There we go. 161. So, 100 grams of Slowpoke tail meat should be 161... Should be 161... calories. Now, we've determined that the tail is how long? 7.9 inches on average. I'll write that down so I don't forget that. Now, how many grams are... Okay. It's a cone that's 7.9 inches long. How big is the diameter, the base of its tail? Based on the described flavor profile, though, it has to be mostly fat. That's also true. Okay. Okay, let's use Wagyu beef then. Because, okay. Because realistically, it'd be like... Because, like, it's described as very tasteful, right? So it'd be very fatty, which is how Wagyu beef is. So, let's use Wagyu. Wagyu as the density. So 404. Okay, we'll use that. We'll use that instead, because it... Yeah. I hope... Can you guys agree with that one? It's sold on the market like Wagyu. Yeah, yeah. So I feel like that would be how it would... It's a cone, so if you do length times half of it... The thing is, what is its diameter? Standards... How wide is the tail? How wide is a Slowpoke's tail? Or girth of a Slowpoke... Girth of a Slowpoke tail. Between a third and a half of its total length. Oh wait, that's talking about the tail's length. But what's the girth? I need to know the girth of it. Wait. This is a person who calculated the spiral shelter. Okay, wait. That makes the tail about 1 foot, 6.8 inches long. What? That... Oh, this is on Slowbro, not Slowpoke. And it's very explicitly a Slowpoke tail. Well, that should be... Maybe search this one separately as well. Google's questions that have no answers. Okay, maybe we just do this. Okay, wait. Slowpoke model. Oh wait, let's look at the model kit. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. We have a rough... Okay. If we know this thing is the right length, then we can just, like, measure it somehow to figure out the tail's... the ratio, at least. And then use the length to figure out the width. What are some of these images? Okay, let's get rid of the kit. That was an accident. Slowpoke model. Or what if I just look up his tail and see if I can find an image? Wait. as one of its legs. Okay, wait, we can use... Somebody has a plushie. Do I have a ruler around here to measure? I don't think I have a ruler anywhere. Apparently it's as big as one of its legs. Okay. That like helps if I know the length is... It comes in multiple sizes. Yeah, but the dimensions should be right. Like, it should be the same proportions, right? Good resource, actually. Yeah. So... How long is it versus wide? Glad to know I went away for 15 minutes to come back to where I left off. In Japanese, this is 1500 as well. Saying that's a good thing. Okay, yeah. So, if I use this Etsy page, which, okay, I don't even know how to measure it. Not super fat like bacon. Okay. I don't know how to measure this. I'm gonna be honest, guys. You know what? We'll use the tie, because I can... I have the marks. I'll use that as my measurement to pixel measure. Well, that's... Yeah, okay. So, it's roughly... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 measures between two of these points starting at the base one. Versus the width is 1, it covers 2. So it's roughly, with my real rough estimates, with a tie that isn't, oh wait, I should actually use this one because the spacing's more even. Okay, give me a moment. We're using the Crestminster tie for this. Okay, 1, 2, 3 segments apart, roughly. 3 segments apart versus just like 1 2/3. Okay. For diameter. I'm gonna use that real rough approximation to figure out the ratio of roughly 0.56. We'll use 0.56. I'm eyeballing it. Okay. Defiant's still definitely going to win. I'm not doubting that at all, because... Okay. We have some things. And this is for 100 grams. Add a little more or round up for the perspective. Yeah. Okay. So we have... It's 7.9 inches by that base. I'm not going to take the time to figure out the volume of a cone. I used to know this. Enter value for radius is... Well, it's half of what I found because I measured diameter. So, 0.56. Oh, that's the ratio. The ratio is 0.56. So, I actually need to multiply this times this. 4.42. That, but it's 2.12. Okay, we'll go with that. And then it's 7.9 for height. So it's 37.18 inches cubed. Okay, we're writing this down. Oh, wait a minute, but that's... We used it based off of grams, which isn't a gram a weight measurement, not a volume measurement. We're getting there, chat. We're almost there. We're almost there to figure out the caloric density of a single slowpoke tail. Snickers ice cream is very nice. I will agree with that. Okay. You would need density. What's the density of a slope? Well, slowpoke's very dense. How heavy is hippo or iguana meat? Well, we'll go off of... we can go off of Wagyu again, because we're using Wagyu as a baseline. So, how dense is Wagyu beef? Dense marble... Okay, volume of 100 grams of Wagyu beef. 100 milliliters. That's easy. I'm going to take that because that's an easy conversion. Now we need cubic inches to milliliters. One is 16. Okay. So then we're looking at, we have 37.18. 609 cubic milli... Okay. So, it's like somewhere from 6 to 7, because we made a lot of approximations here. 6 times 404, that's 24 something. We'll even get more precise. We'll use 6.09. So it's actually 6.09. Then for our final calorie count of a single Slowpoke tail, it is 2460. 2,460 calories per Slowpoke tail. That is barely better than the eggs. Or not the eggs, the oil. That's barely more calories than the oil. Slowpoke is called the densest Pokemon. I don't think it's about his body. That is very true. Yeah, okay, I guess the Slowpoke tail is the densest calorie-wise ingredient as well. It's not the oil. If we assume that it's Wagyu beef in caloric density as well as density of meat. Okay, so now that we know that, the next... Okay, but Slowpoke Tail Pepper Salad has both the top competitors. Having 25 between the two of them, so there might be some competition there, actually. Now that we have a number for the Slowpoke Tails. So let's throw this out there. I find it funny that all three that we're thinking about are salads, though. A nice 30-minute adventure about eating a Slowpoke. Philly cheesetail. Okay. Herbs are a bit... I'm just gonna count the herbs negligible. We're gonna use the same... I'm not even gonna bother with the herbs because it's just a single leaf. Like, that's not gonna be very many that's not gonna be very many calories, right, chat? I'll just consider the herbs as the same caloric density of coffee, and let's hope that's a reasonable approximation. This is a very productive Saturday. I agree. Actually, we'll replace this with the herbs. Nah, 0 or close. Yeah. I mean, the coffee was basically 0, so that's what... Oh, darn it. We'll just leave it there. Okay, tails, oil, herbs. And actually, the oil landed the same slot. Okay. It's 15 oil, 10 tails, and the herbs should be... It's how many? 10? 10 oil or 10 herbs? The tails, and they're 2,460 per tail. Oh my goodness! It actually comes out more! We need to spend at least 4 minutes on the herbs. Okay, even if the herbs are truly 0, though, this still comes out on top. So the Slowpoke Tail Pepper Salad is the highest caloric density, is the highest calorie meal. Most likely, because I'm not going through and calculating all of these tonight. But the Slowpoke Tail Pepper Salad seems to be the most calories in a single meal. Now that we've figured out the... Who hasn't asked a derailing question? You're up next. So anyway, the 16-bit Pokemon that you should be... Oh, this is what happens at almost 2 in the morning. Glad it's a Friday night. This is a great way to spend the Friday night. Check the other tail meal. I mean, it would be easy to do. It's just, it's not going to be nearly as much. Because it's got less tails and no oil. It's just herbs and tails. And it's less tails. So we get rid of the oil. How many calories in that baby Kangaskhan? Why is that a question you're asking? That's my question to you. The other one is less than Claude Zaraclair's. the other tail meal is less than Claude Zaraclair's. We'll shift this up a little bit. It was on screen. Wait, what? Oh, I guess it was. We're not. We figured out the caloric content of a Slowpoke tail. Gen 2 hits hard. Mimikyu. Back to this again. Full circle. I'm actually kind of surprised that the math worked out this way with our approximation for Slowpoke tails. But all the math of how I did it is live on the internet. So if you feed Snorlax 3 of those meals a day, that's more than 150,000 calories. Yeah, that's true. And that's just in the base ingredients. Theoretically, you could stuff the whole rest. Theoretically, you could feed Snorlax a pot of... You could get it to the maximum pot size, which I think is 500. Isn't it? I think you can get it all the way to 500. Can Good Camp take it past that? Can Sunday take it past that? Because if so, you theoretically could fill the entire pot for a mixed meal of just Slowpoke tails. So, how does extra tasty affects... Theoretically, extra tasty affects nothing with this because it doesn't actually change the ingredients. 300 tails, no. That's realistic. Realistically, the most calories in a single meal is going to be a mixed meal with just tails in it. Wouldn't you want to use oil? No, the tails were more calories. They came out to be 2,400 calories. The oil was 2,000. If you're trying to maximize calories fed to Snorlax, it's best to just use as many tails as possible. 300 tails would be more daily calories than any animal on Earth can eat without dying. Because an elephant eats 70,000 a day. That is insane. Although, in Snorlax's defense, everybody, he is sharing the meal. The other Pokemon on the team are eating a significant portion of what you've cooked. So, I mean... What is Snort? I'm honestly more impressed that... Because, okay, if you look at the meals when you serve a meal... In fact, wait a minute. Have I made dinner yet? I think I did on stream, didn't I? At the start of the stream. If you go back earlier in the stream, you can see they share a meal. Like, they clearly share the meal with all of them. So, like, all of them are eating that portion. And, like, the ones that the rest of the Pokemon eat aren't that much smaller than Snorlax's. They're maybe, like, a quarter of the size at, like, okay, not even, like, they're bigger than that. They're probably, like, half the size. Maybe, like, a quarter of the amount of stuff because of area or whatnot. So even if we lowball it to say that they're eating a quarter of what Snorlax is eating, that means that Snorlax would be eating, like, just... Let's assume Snorlax is eating half of all the meal. Then this still is questionable. Snorlax gets bigger with every rank, making the meal he eats proportionally smaller. At basic 1, but starving at M20. He wasn't originally, then updated it because he was getting unhealthy. That's true. Way back, he wasn't sharing the meal. But if we assume that he's eating half of the totally made stuff, and then the rest of it's getting split evenly across the other 5, then... Okay, so this over 2 is what Snorlax is eating. 26,000 calories. That's still a lot. Oh, wait, whoops. Yeah, because that was the biggest one, right? No, that's Defiant. It was this one. Okay. This over 2. This is what Snorlax is eating. Then the other ones are eating that number over 5. Because there's 5 of them. That's still... Every single Pokemon on the team would be eating 5,000 calories. Which It doesn't sound that insane until you think about the fact that that's every single, like, you could throw an Igglybuff on the team. The Igglybuff is eating 5,000 calories. Well, your Gardevoir isn't eating that meal. I doubt. Are you making tail curry or tail salad? Hey there, I say Raycon Trey. Good to have you in chat. Glad you're catching live. It's been a crazy time. We've gotten very off topic. It is that it's 2,000 calories for a 180-pound man. I mean, it is insane that theoretically, yeah, you could be feeding your Gardevoir. That's 5,000 calories per meal as well. That'd be 15,000 calories in a day. Oh, where is the stream gone? Igglybuffed. And a single Igglybuff, yeah. Or Pichu. Guys, you can feed your Pichu 15,000 calories in a day, and it stays a baby. It never gains a pound. Yeah, that's like a very lowball estimate, because that's assuming that Snorlax is eating half of all the food made, which, honestly, I feel like Snorlax is realistically eating less than that if you look at the proportions on the meals when they're being cooked. I do think that he eats more, or he eats less than half of the meal. Hopefully my juggling is getting me dozing sleep. I mean, it probably could be if you're laying in bed with the Go Plus Plus right now. Now, I wonder what some of the lowest calorie meals are. Like, if we go to the opposite end, like Heatwave Salad. Your Pokemon can survive on this. Heatwave Tofu Salad. This is 6 herbs. This is 6 herbs. And like 10 soybeans, which the soybeans in the image are, there's 3 of them. So, I mean, that's 30 soybeans a day, or 30 soybeans a meal. How many calories are in a single soybean? A single soybean contains 3 to 5 calories. So we're looking at 3 to 5 calories. So then so like 4. That's 12 calories per soybeans. That's 120 calories for the, basically 120 calories for Heatwave Tofu Salad. Because those herbs are basically negligible how much they're going to contribute. It actually doesn't care for those meals anyways. The herbs are too spicy for it. So this one's probably about 120 calories, maybe 121 if you want to give something to the herbs. Is there anything that I think can compete with that? I feel like the apples are definitely got to be more. So I feel like that's probably going to be our lowest calorie meal. Probably. Tomato is 20 calories. Is that true? I don't know how many calories are in a tomato. $22 calories. Okay. So that's not that bad. You know, all those spicy herbs, he actually loses calories from going to the bathroom. That could be the case, but who knows? It's like the whole celery concept. I've heard before that when you eat celery, you actually lose calories because your body spends more energy digesting it than... because it's so fibrous. I've heard that before. I don't know how reliable that is. I don't have a source. Don't trust me for nutrition advice. I'm just someone who put the calories of a Slowpoke tail to the test. So yeah, that definitely feels like it would add up to be more if we went with the tomatoes. Because 22 times... that's definitely going to be more than the 10 soybeans, which we figured out was 120 calories. This... well, but... because we have 10 tomatoes up here versus 10... yeah, because this is going to be 22 times that versus 12 times that. So yeah. Of all the things to figure out today. I never imagined that this would be something that I'd be calculating out. Welcome to Pokemon Sleep Research Center. I'm Neroli. We've got a very important job for you. Shoveling Snorlax's crap. Yeah, that would also be a problem. What's going on here? Are you all planning to starve your Pokemon as efficiently as possible? Well, first we were trying to figure out how many calories Snorlax is eating on certain meals. We figured out that the most calorically dense meal is the Slowpoke Tail Pepper Salad. If we approximated Slowpoke Tails to be the actual calories that it would be of 2,460 calories in a single Slowpoke Tail, then it is 54,000 per meal. Now, when it comes to game mechanics, I genuinely don't know. How big can the pot get? I think it... Yeah, we are making serious strides today. Because, like, I don't know how big the pot can get. Pokemon Sleep. Because I know that it can... Like, obviously there's multipliers with the skill. Hey there, Pyrrha. Obviously there's multipliers with the skill, okay? Because it maxes at 69 right now. But then, like, if you have 69, and then you have the 1.5 times from the good camp ticket, that's 104. And then 104 times the Sunday boost is, like, I think it actually comes to 207 because there's some rounding error there. Yeah, I think there's 500 or 400, but I'm pretty certain that it's plus 200, or it's plus a certain number from the skill. But I think that's before modifiers from Good Sleep Day or not from Good Sleep Day, from a good camp ticket and from the Sunday pot size increase, isn't it? Like, I think that's before modifiers. So if that's before modifiers, then it's really 69 plus 200 times 1.5 times 2? Is that how it works? Or is it 69 times 1.5 times 2 plus 200? I'm pretty certain it's before modifiers. If it's 5... I know that there's been people that make 1 million Snorlax strength meals before. I've seen pictures of that. Maybe I just need to read here real quick. Skim. Pot size. Okay. It can increase it. It can be... Okay, wait. The maximum size of the cooking pot can be expanded to via these methods is 200. Okay. So that is... The good camp set bonus is applied after other temporary bonuses, and the result is rounded up. For example, if the permanent pot size is 27, then... And cooking power-up S level 2 is applied, then the final pot size is that. The maximum size that the cooking pot can be expanded to via these methods is 200. And it's called a spade. But I think this would make Snorlax pretty fat. Yes, if you fed him only tails, it would make him very fat, let's be honest. He's also a Snorlax, though, so that's kind of part of his shtick. But this is... So, maybe it's 200 becoming 400 because it gets doubled. So, maybe it's just 400 overall, which if it's 400 overall, then we just have to do 400 times the tail number. So, it's 400 times 2460. 984,000 calories? Hey, but if we divide it in half to give it the... Does Randox have a dish builder? They do, don't they? But I don't think it... Calorie thing was brought up 57 minutes ago. I'm glad I was here. This is historic. Okay, let's see. Recipe... Is it recipe calculator? I know that you can see, like... If it procs a certain amount of times... is it recipe preparer? I'm not sure. MatPat did this for years and never once did this. I should ask the film theory people. So I'll get in contact with film theory. Be like, hey, is my calculation for Slowpoke Tail correct? Calories in the Slowpoke Tail. They do have that food theory channel. That would be a very interesting video for them. Honestly, they could make a great... There's so much potential. Pokemon sleep. How many calories is Snorlax eating? This would be perfect on their food theory channel. That's exactly what this video... In my caloric era. But yeah, I mean, we can estimate that theoretically you can feed Snorlax 1,000,000 calories. Let's just round up and say 1,000,000 calories in a single meal. Because I got 984,000. That's so close. Let's just... And there's been a lot of liberties taken here, so 984,000 calories. So about 1,000,000. You should eat your Pokemon is a 3... food theory. It's weird to me that food theory is 3 years old. Because honestly, I feel like it was just yesterday they started that channel. But yeah, Slowpoke Tails, they have a lot of calories in them. And Snorlax can just down 400 of them like it's nothing. Well, maybe like 200. How many calories? That would kill a lot of animals if you had that many calories. I feel like you couldn't even stuff that away. Thank you. Thank you to the 35 of you that are still here despite this descent into madness. Okay. Well, it's about 2 a.m. my time. I think that's about a good time for me to say that I need to go to bed, so... I think that this is a great spot to leave it off, getting distracted and talking heavily about stuff that does not matter for strategy at all, but is fun to theorize about. So, alrighty. If you have enjoyed the stream, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to it, or subscribe to the channel. It's always appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I hope that you all have a wonderful night, you know? Yeah, nice stream. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.